What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Now, Greg, the last couple GameOverGreggy episodes I have filled in for you, and a lot of people say that I did a terrible job.
The last couple, wasn't it just the one with the movie?
There was one, and then like a couple weeks before I did as well.
A terrible job, they said.
And that person was Tim Gettys. He was like, you've listened, he's like, you've been on almost every fucking episode of this podcast, and you still can't get the 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table to bring topics of your discussion each every week.
Do whatever you want.
I can't, but I get caught up in trying to be you, and then I get super nervous, and then I do that thing where it's the roller coaster where I'm like, you almost got it. Oh no, you're going too fast.
Yeah. You gotta be yourself. You can't try to emulate someone else.
Exactly. Get out there. And podcasting is jazz.
No, but then fucking Tim does the look that you do to him during the MCU where he just goes like this.
Now, okay, so now here's
and Tim Gettys.
Tim host. So here's the thing with Nick is Nick uses me as both the cartoon devil and angel on his shoulders at all time. It's like I didn't give him any shit at all. He just uses me as like
I'm projecting.
You're totally projecting,
100%.
and like you look in the mirror and you see me looking back at you.
No, there was. I bet if we went back and looked, you would laugh at me a couple times.
You're right. You're right. On the other side, I am there giving you the look.
The thing about it is when I screw up my own rigmarole, you become hyper aware of what everybody else is doing. And in the old days, you used to stop.
So quiet.
In cold of like, what? You like when me and Tim would make eye contact, you used to get so mad. What? What did I say?
Well,
blah,
that's
blah,
the
blah.
thing. I've
You didn't sound like Fran. I don't
myself.
know.
I did.
I'm transitioning into a Fran.
I've trained myself to not give the eyes
gotta
to
push
people.
through. Sure,
When
push
Nick,
through.
because I know Nick, it
Just
drives
look
him
down.
crazy.
Don't make any eye
Pretend it's not
contact.
We all
happening.
have tried to be better about it, but yeah, that MCU where I looked at you and you just did the nod. I couldn't not.
I don't even know
lose
why I
it.
nodded. I was just like,
For some reason, we do the show MCU in Review where we every week we review a Marvel movie. I host that. And from the first episode, I started the rigmarole in the beginning of "What's up, guys? Welcome," and I fucked up a word. And
He
Greg,
just like it was like a. He didn't fuck it up. It was like he like tripped.
Like
but
I
he got it.
said
Okay.
January weird.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it was. I was
Okay.
like January or
Did you
some
correct
shit.
yourself after?
No, I just
No
rolled
need
through.
to.
There's nothing
No
really
need
correct.
to.
Powered through, and
But I was
just
letting
saw
it go, and I
Greg
looked at Nick.
Look at Nick, and I was like, God, they won't start laughing
No,
doing
the way
this.
you're hyper
and
aware
it
of
ruined
your
it.
fuck up.
And then every episode since, it's like I'm sitting there and I see them looking. They're just waiting.
We're all
for it.
waiting for something.
And I fuck
Pitchforks
up
and torches,
every
yes.
single time.
There's
It's
a
just
weird
'cause it's
pressure
fun.
when
Yeah.
people are watching you intro a show.
We
Yeah.
also just spend way too much time together, and at this point, it's like brothers. We're just like, let's just fuck with each other.
Hell yeah.
So there's no decision. There's never like a conscious choice. It's just there's an opening. Are we going to take it? Yeah, we're going to take it. We're gonna take it.
I feel like we've done that thing where I was like, because Nick's always been way older than us. I feel like
He always has. Yeah.
Case in point, opening. There it is. Let's go. Hey, that
I've
was open. Let's go
grown
there.
though from the little brother to Nick would have to worry about to now like we're at that age where I can drink and like we drink and hang out together.
Now
You know
we're
what I mean?
partying. Great,
Because like
great.
me and Nick and I, we got something going on. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
that's true.
I don't ever want to talk about spinning off and doing our own thing, whatever it is. Fucking Scumbags
Rank these
Incorporated
ads.
or whatever.
No,
but like,
Jesus, don't
yeah, we
bring
could go
that
do
up.
that. Scumbags
Let's call it the
Incorporated.
rigmarole, man. We'll just call it the rigmarole.
And joining us for the first time ever, Barbra Dunkelman.
Unbelievable.
I
How
assume
is
she
this the
needs no
first time?
introduction. I know, right? That's
On
crazy.
God, she's been on other stuff, but Game Over Greggy show. This is like a perfect fit for
I
you.
mean, technically, people are probably going to get you guys on this. I've been on the show before. If you count the RTX episode we did before.
That is true.
Do we
That
publish
is
it?
true.
Oh,
Years
right.
ago.
Where,
It's labeled
where we
Game
did,
Over Greggy
where
show.
you did the hover hand over her, and I was
Yeah, you were-
shirtless in the audience.
Yes.
Once every few months, somebody will bring that up of
But
like,
the thing is, I didn't know you guys. I knew you from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And that was it. I had never met you before. I'd never met you before. So I feel like the chemistry was probably totally off.
now
you
we're
were
fucking
good.
into it.
Which I think,
Now,
if I
yeah.
remember seriously, like, didn't you show up in costume?
yeah.
I had just come from the Ruby panel, so I was
Yeah.
in a Yang cosplay.
Yeah.
And I'm
I was like, hey, all right, let's go. And that was when I was like, I mean, that was maybe like that was probably the first thing I ever did publicly as well as a panel, right?
That was your first panel.
Yeah, that was like my first ever panel. So I was
Look how
like,
much
my
we've
first panel
grown.
was
deer in
a couple
headlights.
months earlier at
PAX
PAX East.
Game Over Greggy show.
Game Over
Tim
Greggy
Schafer.
with Tim Schafer and
Jared
Jared
Gerritsen.
Gerritsen. Yeah, and then that was your first panel, and she was there. It was like chaos, utter
It was
chaos.
so
yeah,
fun.
Greg was
It was
naked.
fun.
That's what I
do
was
it
going.
panels.
it was all a blur, but it was wonderful. And then I was also at Kind of Funny Live 2 and came on stage to do the Game Over Greggy show for like maybe a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That counts though.
Yeah, we
It
need to
counts?
get
It counts.
So technically
No,
I've
it
been on
doesn't.
the
This
show.
is the first real show you've
This is
been
the
on.
Yes.
real show. Those were both published as Game Over Greggy
Sure,
show.
we publish a lot of things.
We do.
Remember that time I did a 30-second fart we published as a Game Over Greggy show? All right, that happened.
Did it?
No,
don't
didn't.
remember.
We should. Jesus, we
Like,
should.
like
I'm
about
the
to go on
keeper of the
YouTube.
Oh,
things.
somebody's like, it's like the whole fucking. Just up, I was like, what the fuck?
I like to believe in that fantasy world that you just created that the fart went on longer than 30 seconds. We just chose to put it to cap
edit
at 30
it down.
seconds.
Here is the choice 30 seconds.
You come in, it's already going.
Yeah.
There's a loose corn all over the place.
If you didn't know, oh God, that's a pre-show, right? If you didn't know, this is the Game Over Greggy show each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table. Each bring a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode a full week early on Friday. Of course, you can watch it live for just $1 as well whenever we record it. You can get a whole bunch of other goodies, perks, and exclusives too. But if you have no money to toss our way, no big deal. The following Friday, 1 week later, it's up on youtube.com/kindafunny alongside MCU in Review, Nick's Pud Talk. I don't know what show. Kind of funny morning
Earmark
show.
that, cool, Greg. Nick's Pud Talk is going to be a show one day. Hey, we're talking about my pud today.
Barbara, how the hell are you?
I'm great.
Yeah?
I am so happy to finally be here doing stuff with you guys. We've talked about doing content together for a very long time. You guys have been on my show before, Greg.
Always open. Fantastic show.
Yet to be on, but
I was the
hopefully
first
soon.
fan. I told you that. I listened to the debut episode.
First fan.
I thought that was the opening to get me
Supporting from
on.
the
Never
beginning.
happened. I deleted it.
We saved the
It's
best for
gone.
last.
The last
Know what I'm
episode
saying?
always open. Great.
Yeah, a couple years from now.
Eventually closed.
Exactly. But no, I'm really excited to be here and doing this stuff. You guys are like brothers to me, so I'm very.
You
very
did the
excited.
Kind of Funny morning show
yes,
this morning.
earlier today.
I was bopping around getting things set up because it's been a busy day, hectic around here. Are we saying why you're in town or no?
I think it's okay to say it. I'm filming something with IGN.
That's cool.
Yeah, just
Okay,
a little
cool.
show.
Okay. So look for that soon.
Yep,
Whole bunch of other stuff to promote. You're on Rooster Teeth all the time.
all the time. That's where I live.
Exactly. What? So
live on
people can
Rooster
follow you on
Literally.
Twitter and all that jazz.
Yep, Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias.
Cool. We got all that junk out of the way. What's your topic?
My topic today. So I have recently started watching Black Mirror. I'm a little late to the party. I find it fascinating.
What season are we in right now?
I'm jumping all over the place.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Have you watched White Christmas yet? John Hamm.
The John Hamm one.
No, have
you're
not
missing
seen
out.
White
You're
Christmas
missing
yet.
out.
It's twisted.
I've only
I saw
seen
White
one
Bear.
episode.
You're an idiot.
One episode. Really loved it.
Which one?
Which one was it?
Stop the DJ.
Oh, Hang the DJ.
Hang the
I haven't
DJ.
seen that one yet, but I hear that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Fantastic.
So the one I wanted to discuss today, very close to home since I do social media for a living. It's the episode called Nosedive. I believe it's in season 3. And the premise of it is basically everyone now rates each other, scores each other.
Bryce Dallas Howard
Bryce
in this
Dallas
one.
Howard, yeah.
This is what a lot
Alongs-
of people talk about this one. I haven't seen this one yet
Yeah.
either.
What are you waiting for? You like stuff.
What are you waiting for?
It's
What are
one
you
of those.
waiting for?
Black Mirror is one of those series Series Eyes.
Series Eyes. I think it's Series
Eyes.
Nemesis Eyes. It's one of those shows that it's just not for me.
Really?
In that I recognize how well made it is. I recognize
But it's like great science fiction.
It's great sci-fi.
But all
It
the
just-
episodes are so different
but
from
all,
each other.
but I've seen 3 and they're all just so tragic and
Which-
they leave
oh,
me
no,
just
that's for sure. That's
they
for
leave
sure.
me
Oh,
just
yeah.
going like with just like a man, fucking humanity is doomed. And I just at the end of the night, I'm always so caught up in my own brain and like with my anxiety from whatever happened in the day that I just need the world's dumbest show to turn my brain off.
I get that.
And that show is Friends. That's what
I
I've been
love
watching.
Friends.
Yeah. So like I'm just not one of those Twilight Zone, Black Mirror kinds of people. I don't
Okay.
like horror films that much. I don't like anything that puts you in that like tense mood
Sure.
for like an hour. And that's the thing. Black Mirror has that like British vibe to it. Where like in America, we always have to have like there's like a percentage where like 90% of the things have to end happy, 10% are allowed to end fucked up.
Oh, you
but in
rarely
the UK,
see anything that ends
they're like,
unhappy.
fuck you, life
It's the other
sucks. Like
way, yeah.
100%.
It always rains here. We have a queen.
They're positive.
great.
Happy.
but they're few and
Black
far
Mirror.
between.
Yeah, there's
from
like
what I
2, right?
understand.
I don't know.
I feel like Hang the DJ, one of them, and then what was it, San
far as
Luis
I'm concerned,
Obispo, or
it's a
how they call
happy
it? I don't even. Most of the names I don't know. I've seen them
San
all.
Junipero.
That's the one I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
that was a
I-
happy one.
That was a happy one.
Yeah.
So they
So
range.
give him the elevator pitch for Nosedive.
Nosedive is obviously takes place in the future where you can now rate all your interactions with everybody, and your social status is based off your rating. So if you buy coffee from someone, you rate them right there on the spot, and everything pops up.
Like how your
digitally.
transaction went, right? Everybody's got
Yeah.
a profile.
So it's like Uber, like after you rate.
Sure.
It's like Uber, but for literally
everything.
everything.
Every
But is
person.
it public though?
Yes.
Because like
Yes.
Uber, you don't know.
This is public.
Well, now you do.
You know your own score. You know everyone's
Fucking
score.
get on top of
Do
Uber.
you?
Yeah, come on, man.
What?
And-
Where you been?
Yeah, you can find out your own score.
No, you know your score, but you don't know who rated you.
Oh, my apologies. Not
Gotcha.
my apologies. No, you know who rated
that
you.
changes
and why.
everything.
You know who rated you and why they.
Absolutely.
You know who rated you, and usually it's right after. It's usually literally people are walking around like, all right, cool, thanks, blink, and then
And like you'll be
know,
looking at each other in the eye, and like they'll be
Yeah,
like,
you'll get the thing. Yeah,
okay.
God, can you imagine how many likes for likes that would be?
yeah. Thank you. That's pretty
It'd
much
be
the whole
brutal.
show.
It'd be brutal.
Episode.
But yeah, on the show, if you have, I think, a score below a 4, you are basically an outcast. Like
Interesting.
People do not want to interact with you because if they see you interacting with people who have a low score, they rate you lower too.
Is that out of 5?
Yeah,
out of 5?
yeah. When you
So-
get to when she in the show dips below 4 spoilers, like
Yeah.
that's when it really starts going south and
Goes downhill.
people start treating her differently because they know she's just a 3.
It's fascinating. Also terrifying because I feel like
It's happening.
it could happen.
It is happening. It is
Yeah.
happening. Like what you're really talking about there is
an
that.
extent.
Well, what you're talking about there is people's ability to judge each other online, and that is absolutely happening, right?
Yeah.
And that happens on Twitter every so often. We will see there just be an outcrying of people who just like don't like something or don't like a person and sometimes there can be tremendously negative consequences out there, and you can look at it and be like, I don't know, there's not a conversation happening. It's just boom, judgment.
Exactly.
And that's terrifying.
There's the website Rate My Professors
Right.
and then Rate My
I
Teachers.
used to use that
And
way back in the day.
I use that like religiously. Like
Yeah.
that's how I got through high school and college the way that I did. And it ruined people's lives entirely. I know people that were teachers that got fired because of it. I know,
Really?
Yeah. Like, and even if it
Deservedly
wasn't
so,
because of
though,
it,
right? They were
yeah,
assholes.
but it's the same thing of like when there's bad reviews, it just kind of you get in this mindset. You're
Sure.
like, oh well, fuck Miss whatever her name is, right? And you're just like, you go into it thinking negatively about
High
it.
school students
Yeah.
should not be allowed to rate their teachers with any level of
absolutely
degree of
not.
accuracy. There's way
I
too
mean,
much
Except for
they
emotion.
weren't
college,
allowed
because you
to. It's
choose
just
your
the
class.
internet,
Just did it.
right? And
That's
it just
weird.
totally was a thing. And then there was Rate My Friends, and there was like the hot or not
Hot or
thing.
not, yeah.
Yeah, it's like this. We grew up in an era where this was just something that we had at our disposal, and
Yeah.
that's scary because it definitely affected choices I've made and how much I like someone.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's the same with Yelp ratings, right? Like I went to a hypnotist one time to like when I was doing like a lot of this therapy for claustrophobia. So I was like, I'll just try hypnotism and see if like in a couple hours I can work through some of the deeper issues or whatever. It didn't end up being as powerful as an experience as I wanted it to be. But one of the things that he was like, I'm going to make you sign. He's like, just so you know, you have to sign a document saying that if you're going to go on Yelp and rate me, like you have to talk to me about it first. And I was like, that's an interesting thing to tell me that I have to do, but I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try this, and it wasn't that expensive. So
It's
I did
smart to an
Yeah.
extent, right? Because I love the ones that'll break out on Reddit of the person who runs the restaurant clapping back, whoever leaves the bad review,
Yeah.
where it's like,
Hey, sorry, you should.
she's like, oh, like they didn't have. He's like, you came in to a chicken shop asking for this. Like,
Yeah.
no, we don't have that. You can't
Yeah.
rate me against that.
So
That's on you.
wrongfully
Yeah.
downvoting something. So what I wanted to know, if this was something that existed in today's society, this was part of our world, what do you think your rating would be?
At 5, yeah.
Mine would be a 0 because I would because here's why. I am the world's
Damn.
latest adopter of technology, and I would revolt against this unequivocally. I'm like, I am not going to fucking do this system, and it would be way too late. And then by the time I finally did get Nick __ Scarpino 1 or whatever the fuck my name I could get left on it, people were like, you're a lame ass, and I'd be so far behind the curve, my score would just be 0. It would be
But people
terrible.
who are like have that low of a score in this world
Are
are
destitute.
dead to
I would
everybody.
I would be on the island with the rest of the fucking
See,
penal colony.
I'm glad
people.
that I was going the opposite way, right? Of like Nick would go to Starbucks and get short
And
with
lose
somebody,
his
his
shit.
anger would come out, and
Yeah.
then they start down.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would that's
So it's like, imagine
very,
it's
very well
embedded
done.
in you. You can't sign up for it. Like it's
Yeah,
just
part of
Well,
you.
by the way, it's interesting because I think it would just be chaos because you'd have so many like I don't buy that people would have real interactions with each other anymore. Like I wouldn't be
They
like I'm
don't.
unhappy with you.
This
You'd walk
world, they're all
away
like,
and fuck them over,
Hi,
right?
thank you.
The movie
Right.
is very Stepford
Yeah,
Wives.
we totally-
of
it'd be horrible.
everyone's smiley, everyone's on best behavior, everyone's in pastel colors because I'm assuming those have been rated the best. Like it's a bunch of schemers like Tim that
into
figured
it,
out
man.
what people like and
there's
what
the winners and the losers. You
the
know what I mean?
algorithm. Yeah,
They
yeah.
did an episode of the Orville like this, where they go to like the Orville's Star Trek like kind of rip off, where they go to different planets, and one of the planets they went to, everything was rated like this.
Yeah.
And one of the guys didn't know that, and like took a picture of like him like dancing next to a statue, and it looked like it was like evocative, and everyone was like, "Who is this guy?" And they started downrating him, and then he had to go to trial for it. So like if you got downrated to a certain point, if everyone hated you, you went to trial, and they would kill you.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
There's a great episode of Black Mirror in this third season that has a Star Trek vibe to it. You need to watch too.
USS Callister.
Maybe I'll start
I thought it was
watching
fourth
it again.
season.
You got me
I could
with
be
Star
wrong.
Oh,
Trek.
is there, I thought there was only 3 now.
I think there's 4. now.
I've seen the most recent season. They just all run together.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
what would your rating be, Tim?
I feel honestly I could be pretty high.
I think you would be pretty high, honestly.
I'm pretty nice to people overall, and I feel like my interactions with services, like I'm never a dick to them.
You also, like, this is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. You, and you're like me, are a people pleaser.
I am.
Yeah. You want everyone to be happy. You want everyone to be having a good time.
It's true.
Constantly worried that what people think about you.
It's true.
That's very true. That's
All
true.
of this is true.
I am to a certain degree until it's time to rage.
That degree is 1 degree left or right.
There really is. There are so many people out there that are like, Nick, you're the nicest person. I'm like, I am.
Until you cross me.
99% of the time.
Right now.
Yeah.
And then there's always that 1% of the time where I'm like, I feel like I'm being mistreated, and I am going to take all of my frustration from the last year out on you now.
Did you see
kind
your
server.
brother's Instagram from yesterday?
No, I
What's wrong
don't.
with
No.
I'll read it aloud because I commented like, oh, that's Scarpino rage. Hold on, let me
Oh,
get it up
God.
here.
Oh,
Have you met?
No,
I'll
he told
read
me
it.
the
I'll
story.
read
He
it.
told me the story
Briefly.
yesterday.
I met him briefly at Kind of Funny Live too.
It's
So-
a
But
trip.
I've heard many stories.
Unfiltered Dan.
Scarpino man on Instagram and I think Twitter too. But it's a photo of Tony's Pizzeria Napolitan. And it's me. This is Matt Scarpino. Me. We have one more joining us. My server. No, we have a time limit. Matt, then I will never come back to this fucking place ever again. A dialogue between him and the restaurant.
Oh my
He told me
God.
this full story, and to be fair, it seemed weird, but I feel like it just seemed like neither of the parties were communicating with each other, because I guess the place is small and a lot of people come in and out of it.
Yeah.
They didn't communicate to my brother that you can't. It's not the kind of restaurant where you can be there for 2 hours, and you've eaten with my brother.
Yeah.
He likes to slow play
Oh, he
food.
slow plays like I've
he
never
is a
seen
lion
before.
and they're a dying deer, and he just waits there and just picks at it. And they had a friend. It's just not the right restaurant. But also, again, another one of my pet peeves. I don't like being told no by a server. If I'm at your restaurant, if I'm patronizing your restaurant, you're supposed to provide an experience for me like above and beyond. And if you're like, nah, we can't do that, I'm like, well, you just told me to fuck
Have you ever
off and
been
not
at
so
a
many
place
words.
where you wanted to buy a lot of their stock, or like at a pizza place and buy a bunch of pizzas, and they'll be like, well, we can't do that, we'd be out. It's like, yeah, but I'm literally buying all your pizzas
Yeah.
right now.
Hold on.
You're done for the day.
I'm gonna take a step back. In what scenario were you buying a pizzeria out?
This slice is
It's
delicious.
happened. It's
Give
happened
me
before.
all the
Well,
pizzas,
it's
home
like
slice.
if you have an
Yeah,
RTX
exactly.
production and we're like,
Got
we need
it.
like
Okay,
30 pizzas for the crew right now. Like we've ordered
been
like
told
5-6
no.
pizzas.
Yeah,
sure,
no,
but
I get it. I remember we bought an excessive amount of McDonald's one time, and they made us wait like an
We had to
hour.
negotiate.
We had to
Yeah.
negotiate.
How many can you make? Wasn't
Yeah,
that the
they're like,
question?
we asked for 50 like double cheeseburgers, and they're like, oh, we can't do that. We're like, how many can you make? And they're like, 35. And we're
yeah,
like,
arbitrary 35. I was like, great.
Sure.
We'll take 35.
So here's what.
and then Ashley Jenkins sat in one of them.
Real quick. That was
we
awesome.
did.
What?
It's a
We'll
long
tell you that story
Okay.
later. Here, so again, the Scarpino man conversation ended, and here's where it gets interesting for Greg Miller.
Oh, Lord.
Hashtag fuck little Tonys. Hashtag real Italians care. Now, there's a lot of comments here. Me, the Dat Scarpino rage, somebody hashtag midlife baller. No one tags Tony's Pizza. But 3 hours ago, they found it in comments.
No.
Hey, Matt, sorry you didn't stick around to try our pizzas. We have policies in place so we can see guests quickly and efficiently. Having late arrivals essentially is cutting in front of our wait list. We understand it's frustrating, but our wait time can sometimes get up to 3 hours, and it's what works best for our small establishment. Nice pick of our sign, though. And if you come back to see us, afternoons during the week are less busy, especially at the bar. Cheers.
Good on you, Tony.
Nice pick of the
Please
sign.
do not tell my
Passive
brother
aggressive.
that they responded to that, because there's a good possibility he will throw a brick through their window now. You can't fight Scarpino rage with anything more than more rage. If you fight it with kindness, you're gonna get just a total of a shit.
Are you responding right now?
I'm trying to find the right emoticon to put on that one.
I believe the word is emoji.
Emoticon.
I'm gonna
believe is
rate
what
you
they-
low.
Don't rate me low for
You
that.
fucking
See, that's
old
the thing
nerd.
is I'd have little stuff like that. I think I'd be a strong 3.85, 87.
Still low.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. I think where it gets interesting, and they didn't explain well enough in their little Black Mirror thing, is are we rating based on proximity, Is our audience watching us and rating us
that's
based on the
thing.
content we're making?
They could also rate your posts online.
Oh, that's right.
And that affects your score.
Yeah, for
Oh
everything.
man, shit posts would be.
And see, that thing is like, it was like, you know, in the episode, she goes, Bryce Dallas Howard goes to the coffee shop that you were talking about, sits down, takes this cookie, takes a perfect bite, puts it down, Instagrams the photo, spits out the bite. And like, she's just trying to make the perfect Instagram post. And I'm like,
And there are people that do that.
I respect that. I'm one of them.
I respect
You ever seen what I'm doing? You ever seen these photos
No,
I'm taking
you
at
actually
PSV?
eat-
I'm
you
kidding.
eat you eat
oh,
your
I eat
dog.
whatever. Yeah,
You pet that dog.
whatever I take a photo
You
of,
actually
I'm
pet
eating.
the dog.
Yeah.
There's people who make a living off that stuff, though.
Yeah.
Like food bloggers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I went to a lunch one time last year, actually, for South by Southwest with a group of food bloggers.
Oh, it's got to be annoying.
And it was at a restaurant. And so they would bring all the dishes out. And, you know, me, being the fucking pig I am, go in and grab something. And they're like, oh, hold on. And literally for, no joke, 12 to 13 minutes, adjust. Oh, could you move that flower vase over here? All of them. Probably like 10 girls or so, mostly. Just all moving things around, taking photos, asking
Food's
someone
cool.
to light something.
It's their
The
thing,
girls on
man.
The Bachelor after The Bachelor need to do something. That's what they do.
It's
And
their
they
thing.
make a living off of it. It's
for them,
incredible.
man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
I was starving the whole time.
I understand that.
I didn't get to eat anything.
But now
when you
that
decide-
meal is immortalized on Instagram.
True.
When you decide to step up your Instagram game, though, like I have,
You've been
there are
killing
things that fall to the wayside. You have to sit there and you know what I mean?
You put a lot of effort into Instagram. I see
do.
you liking every post.
Well, that's not effort. That's just I'm on Instagram a
I
lot.
know.
Effort is like,
I've had to
I
stop
pick and
myself and be
choose.
like, I'm only gonna like things that
That I like.
I like.
oh, I do that too.
But see,
No, I'm not. That's the thing, and that's what I find interesting about Instagram. When we had Meg Turney, we were talking to her about Instagram stuff, and it's the weird thing of, I already follow you, so I already like your stuff, but I already do. But then it's like when I find myself being such a benevolent God as I look through it. I'm like, this isn't the content I want. And then meanwhile, when I put up a photo and it's like me, a selfie of me, Jen and Porty, all that stuff fucking kills. But when I put up a cooking with Greggy photo and it like struggles to 1,000 likes, I'm like, what the fuck do you people want? I'm like, I know what you want, but then
know
it's
what
also
you want,
then
yeah.
it's this push and pull
Give
of
the
like,
people
what
what they
do I
want.
want my feed to be versus what you want it to be? And then
Sure.
I reflect back on all these like stupid cosplayers I follow because I follow tons of cosplayers. This guy does amazing Spider-Mans, right? And then when he puts up a photo of him in a suit, I'm like, fuck off.
Who are you?
And I don't want to see you in a
I'm not
black
following you
tie.
for this.
You fucking dress up as Spider-Man, asshole.
That's why you always got to be all across the board like me. Never be consistent with your posts. Always give the
Give a
people
little
something
bit of
unexpected.
everything.
welcome to my world.
Exactly.
That's the thing. I feel like you guys would all, like you two, would be really, really good at it. I think
Us
you
two?
I think all three of you would be.
Okay.
But specifically because I work with these guys and I'm around them 24/7
Yeah.
to a point, almost to a nauseating point. You guys just legitimately enjoy it. Like there is yes, it's a job, but there's also a part of you guys that just naturally goes, hey, I want to share my life with these people and I want to do it in a way that's Oh, look at you. I want that shirt.
I ripped off my shirt. It's just what's good. I didn't know what I was wearing. It's what's good game shirt. But it's just I love the fact that Kind of Funny new Letterman jacket. You pop it off. kindoffunny.com/store soon.
Eventually, there's a plan.
No,
yet.
but I think you guys would. I mean, you guys just naturally gravitate towards telling stories about your life online, and I think that's what I have the hardest time with. Is there's every post that I do, I don't struggle with it, but I put it up there and I'm like, ugh. Like if I saw me post this, I'd be like, you fucking asshole. Like
The amount of times I post things, I'm like, everyone must hate me, and I understand it. All
Why?
I do,
What do you
all I
post?
do on social media. This is a Tim Gettys trend. If you haven't already noticed, if you follow me at Tim Gettys, you probably should follow me. If you don't, to get this quality content, always be selling.
ABC.
Whatever I'm doing, I don't need. It's just shout out to the thing. I had Chinese food a couple nights ago.
yeah.
My tweet was shout out to Chinese food,
And
That's
that
great,
tweet,
and it's
though.
fucking real.
that tweet was so good that when it popped up, things you missed 22 hours ago, I was like, yeah, fuck that. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
You, know,
Still
you
kinda
did
like
like
that
it, yeah. But honestly, shout out to Chinese food, and it's funny because I don't think about it. That's just at that moment. That's how I was feeling because Emmy's Chinese food on Ocean. God damn. But
out.
the thing is, if I were to look back at my Twitter account, I bet you all my most popular tweets were just me saying shout out to different things that I like in my life.
But that's the way it
Positivity.
should be, right? It took me a long time to understand the difference between Instagram and Twitter. Obviously, that sounds stupid, but the fact that you are cultivating a different audience in the way that, like, something that it does really well on my Instagram account, if I bring it over and it doesn't do well on Twitter, it's because on Twitter, it actually is, for me at least, people want just the shower thoughts. Those are the ones that do the best for me,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
When I was like, I have a confession to make, I like onions now. Like
They
it was
want
like
things that are relatable.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they just want that at a pass. Whereas Instagram is like
More fun.
the window into my life, but it's the certain aspects that do better than other aspects, which is weird. And that's why somebody said I try real hard at Instagram. I don't like that. I don't try real hard. I enjoy Instagram. I enjoy exploring as a platform.
You're a heavy user of Instagram.
You work really hard.
He tries real hard.
I don't know. I don't like that. Like I work hard on it. I think I like building. I like good photos, especially the food I'm cooking or whatever. But even though they don't perform, I'm going to continue to put those up there.
You definitely put a lot of effort into curating your Instagram.
Sure. I have deleted videos. Because that's the thing. I've learned early on that when we make like an infographic and put it up on Twitter of like, hey, Barb's coming on the show or whatever. If I put that on Instagram, like nobody fucking likes that.
No, they don't give a fuck.
Nobody wants that shit. We're not here for your
promotion.
promotional
I got
shit.
like
We're here for your
likes
likes
on that, and then everything else is over 12.
And so now what I like to do, because I'm a psychopath, and this is actually a fun little thing, I'm gonna bring Aaron Porter into the conversation. What I like to do is on my Instagram, when I go in and you click on your profile and then you can click to see all your posts. When I go into the tiled effect there, I'll scroll back and scroll out, right? I'm like, all right, that's attractive. I like that.
Yeah,
but then I'll get to
colorful.
that, like that black video there, which was an ad for the PlayStation
you know,
VR
you
show.
could change the thumbnail.
I'm gonna delete it. What?
You
On
could
Instagram?
you could select a thumbnail on
Since when?
Instagram all the time when you're uploading it.
Game changed.
Well, I'm deleting it all the same because I don't like that black thing right
You
there.
also
Bam,
don't have to
done.
delete it. You could just archive it, so it stays literally just behind a wall. No one
Social
can see it, but
media
you still have
manager,
it.
community
That's
manager.
really good. But
director
again,
of community.
I don't know
What
if
do you
it-
nowadays?
I don't even know. I'm just at
I don't want to
Rooster Teeth.
underplay it, but
I'm director.
director.
Well, that's all smart. But what I actually did instead was I started ordering Aaron Porter to put one frame of a thumbnail in the
very
front of
beginning.
every video
Smart.
so it doesn't look like that.
That's a
anymore.
Tim Getty shit.
That's
Tim Getty's
old
used-
school Tim Getty shit.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, you can totally just, when you upload a video, on the
Select
bottom
it,
right, there's I think it's called frame.
You just scroll through.
You click it and then you
smart.
get
Well,
to choose.
fuck my goat ass.
What are you at on?
Good lord.
67.8.
Jesus Christ.
Garbage.
So close,
That's nothing.
guys. So close.
That's
Somebody
nothing.
please follow out GameOverGreggy.
60
We're
now.
A
like
lot of people
He's
need to follow
desperate.
me.
1.5K
He
people
tries
away.
so hard.
Dude, Instagram's it's
fucking
fucking
hate you guys.
demoralizing to try and grow on Instagram.
Instagram's difficult.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
You have to actually make good content, I
Or
feel.
have
And I'm not good at that.
Big tits.
I don't have
That's
that
helpful.
either. Well,
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Oh,
well,
oh my
I don't
god.
know. I don't know.
Those move on their own.
Yeah, they do.
Shouldn't watch. I just blink. There it
God,
is.
I don't see. Here's the thing: is
Nasty.
he's blinking at me, winking at me
Winking.
with the wrong side for you guys to see, and with this wrong.
You can, you can see it on the screen. Do it
You
on,
see it.
do it
No,
again.
everybody sees it.
You can see it. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
He's in the
That thing has
bones.
a mind of
You
its
know what I
own.
mean?
It really does. I'm tired today. I'm so fucking tired today.
Dude, Greg, you missed it. We went to lunch yesterday. And fucking, I don't remember the context, but at some point, Nick was like, "Yeah, man, you know, I realized recently, like, I'm just getting old." It was just,
fucking
we
getting old.
expected anything
Aw.
else but that.
Well,
I'm just
this
starting to
morning
feel
we
my
were sitting
age.
around talking to everybody out in the back room there, or whatever, and Andy was talking about like how he's working on thumbnails. He's changed things. He's like, I don't know, man. It's just been a long week. I'm like, it's 10:30 on Tuesday. What are you talking about? He's like, I mean, it's been a long month. I'm
Well,
like,
we
"All
just
right."
did, we did that thing where Tim and I did a shoot on Sunday, and I forgot how hard it is to shave a day off your weekend, and then not only shave a day off your weekend, but like work the entire day because I did a couple mics afterward.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, why did I commit to this Oscars watch along party? And by commit,
That's
I'm
the
like,
worst.
why am I the person that has to plan this party?
I hate it when doing things is fun and seeing
I hate
your
that too.
friends is fun. But it's that I hate the past, Greg, whenever I get to the precipice of like, oh, fuck. Somebody's coming over. I got to fucking cook for Xavier goddamn Woods tomorrow. Fuck. I want to play Monster Hunter, but I can. I'm going to have a great time and I love him and all this stuff. But it's like,
Yeah.
why the fuck did I say I was going to do that? Every time there's a trip coming up of us going somewhere,
There
like,
is no better
I hate
feeling.
Rooster Teeth. Why am I going there?
How dare you? There's
How dare
no
you, sir.
better feeling though when you make plans with someone, or like they make plans.
Oh
with
my God,
you,
they cancel?
and then they call you and they're like, yeah, or text you like, hey, I'm not actually gonna be able to make it. And I'm like, oh,
No.
Damn
we
it.
tried.
It's so good.
I love
put
it.
on my pajama pants instantly.
It's so
I
good.
love that feeling, especially like there are moments where you know you're like, I just don't want to go to this thing, and then you see that, and it's like part of you is just like, well, it's twofold. Because part of you is like, thank God I don't have to go to this. But the other part is like, what's wrong with me? You don't want to hang out with me?
Oh God, I
Like you're not cool enough
Oh
to hang
no,
out with me?
I don't
Yeah,
do that
Nick,
for a
no.
second. I'm just like, oh, cool. They don't want to
But
go.
you guys
I
know
don't really
my-
want to go either.
Yeah, my natural state is to be in jams on my
too.
couch.
Here's a little story for you. Tim, it's about a little Greg Miller.
Fuck.
Nick, you might want to keep this
Here
for
we
your
go.
documentary. Growing up, I'd go to the Catholic school, as they say. You know, K through 12th grades. When I would come home from, and I go in uniform if you're not familiar,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like
course.
as a little boy, it's the fucking like it's starchy when you first get it, blue shirt. It's literally designed. Oh, you're doing camera stuff. Light blue shirt. You'd like it. Mm-hmm. Button up, and then it's the navy slacks. High school is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But what I would do, and that my friends found weird, is that when I would come home from school, they would, when they came home from school, they're home, they're out of their uniforms, into their jeans, into their shorts, into whatever.
It's nothing like taking that bra off at the end of the
Exactly. I came home and wore the uniform until I went to bed. I never got into this coming home and changing out of the uniform.
You would just stay in it?
I would unbutton the shirt, and I had an undershirt on, and then I would just fucking do whatever I was doing. Draw comics, play video games, hang out.
That sounds horrid.
Hey,
It
man,
would
it's
be
just...
instantly off of me.
I think I'd do well in prison, and this is one of the many examples of it. So...
Greg Miller.
Jump ahead to, I don't know, 5 months ago or 6 months
Oh,
ago.
shit, okay. Little Greg Miller grew up.
Living with this lady, Genevieve Saint-Onge, right? And finally, at some point, she looks over at me on a Saturday night or whatever, Friday night. She's just like, why are you still wearing your jeans?
Yeah.
And I was like, what would you have me wear? And she's like, sweatpants, like athletic pants, like those joggers Tim has.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't own those. He's like, you have no long cloth pants that aren't jeans or like slacks. I'm like, no. And so she ordered me a pair of Adidas sweatpants, and now I wear those quite often.
There you go. Then
And
that's
they're
the problem.
very
Is it
Then they
not
take over your life, and then you want to wear
life-changing?
them always.
And that was the problem. Is like for a while they were missing. Are they in the dirty bin? Are they in the giant pile of clean clothes? Did Portillo eat them? Nobody knew.
Who knew?
And we finally, and it was upsetting to be in the jeans and realize how hot I was. Because I run hot in general. You know this from this morning. I was telling you when we were outside, I was just sitting there in a t-shirt, no jacket.
Yeah, insane.
I get home, I cook, I clean. Jen just sitting there eating bonbons, not doing a goddamn thing. I sit down next to her, I'm all sweaty, and I didn't realize I'm locking in the heat with the jeans. Whereas these sweatpants I have, they'd be fine. Now, do I have athletic shorts, the Mizzou shorts? Of course, but sometimes
Well, that's the thing, is
you
that-
put them on, that's too much. I'm chilly now. I'm showing off way too much thigh.
Sometimes you don't want your whole leg exposed.
Yeah. I used to have a pair of Tostitos sweatpants. Colin mocked me into not wearing them anymore. They just
Oh, you did have
they
those
were like,
Tostitos?
They were like triple
They
XL.
were obnoxious, dude. Those things are so...
Which ones were these?
Tostitos?
Remember when Tostitos sent us like a jumpsuit of like random ass, like it was such clear marketing stuff. Like it kind of looked like, the little triangle things on the top of a taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like imagine if that ad was just sweatpants.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's what
Wow.
it was. What's weird about you, Greg, is I've known
Wow,
you.
what's weird
I've
about
known you almost a decade now. It feels like. I think it might be
checks out.
almost 2010.
March
So-
1st is my 11th year in the industry in San Francisco.
Yeah, so I've known you since 2010. And for some reason, I've seen you go through many different variations in your life.
Sure,
the whole,
sure.
the chemo stuff or beards. Like there's
Great
been-
face, by the way. That was my favorite
That
one of
would
your
look great on
faces.
you.
Yeah.
You should do more of that.
I mean, this motherfucker was
Chemo
bald for a year.
He was Lex
A
Luthor.
lot of different shit happened, right? But when I close my eyes and I think,
tell me what you look at.
when I think Greg Miller,
What do you see?
it's you in those goddamn yellow Mizzou shorts.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Mizzou shorts.
That is you in your element. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that will ever change in my life.
I remember
love
in
those fucking
college,
things.
like sophomore or junior year, my friend was talking to his girlfriend at the time, and AIM, as you do.
I remember AIM.
And there was some little game they were doing back and forth of like, not a get to know you, but something similar to that. They already knew each other, obviously.
Yeah.
And one of the things he threw out was like, what 3 words to describe Greg Miller, right? And she was like,
Yellow Mizzou shorts.
no, she was, well, we all went to Mizzou, so
Nailed it.
I was in my people there. She's like,
Okay.
graphic t-shirt, jeans, maybe it was 4 jeans, Converse, black rim glasses. And I've held that now for like 3 decades.
You're like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am very much your Millhouse or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I have a style and I'm sticking with it.
I love it.
I won't
Everything's
change for
coming up
nothing.
Greg Miller.
It is coming up. Greg Miller. Andy Cortez walked into the room.
Hi, Andy Cortez.
Andy, did you watch Black Mirror?
Yes.
You remember the episode
Nosedive.
where everybody gets rated?
Yes.
Come here and tell me what your rating would be if that was real. If that was happening right now, what would you be rated right now?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
It'd be my Uber score. I'd be like 4.8, 4.86.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I see what I'm saying that would play into it quite a bit. Thank you, cool. Greg.
Here's why I say that.
Please lay it on me.
Because I am like way too courteous to I'm way too considerate whenever I don't ever want to fuck anybody's thing up, right?
Sure.
So like even if I'm at a store, at a grocery store, and somebody like an employee's trying to put something away, I'm like I always feel like I'm in the way. Like go ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead.
And
I'm
like,
like
ding, ding, ding,
yeah. I
ding.
always
Yeah.
feel like I'm fucking there. I just want to get out of people's way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That or I just stay indoors all the time and I just
See, what would be helpful, I think, on a lot of our. Here's the thing. Of course, we're bringing in the social media content. Andy puts up a lot of garbage. Just a lot of
because
fucking.
your
garbage.
social media also gets rated.
So that would bring him
character,
down
It's
to
his
some
character.
extent. I would be rating him down all the time. Some extent.
Oh, I'd be
4.86.
bringing it back up. Yeah.
But what it would play to our favorites, of course, is how Kind of Funny works, and we're the small thing. You know what I mean? The small thing of passionate people. We'd all be rating. They'd all the people watching me.
We'd be stacked.
I'd be like, oh hey, that MC Fixer kid, 5 stars over in the UK. And over there, the Queen would be like, "Oh, governor, 5 stars for MC Fixer.
Yeah.
15
But then you have plenty of people who also hate on you.
But that's the thing is, I don't think like don't get me
But it
wrong.
outweighs it.
We definitely
And if
have
it's an
trolls,
average,
and that's the
this
big
is
thing.
a good call.
This would be the big
lower.
thing.
Ooh, 4.85.
What is your Uber score?
My Uber score?
Yeah.
Oh,
was yours,
God,
Eddie?
this is going to be horrible.
I'm 4.85.
You're
It's 486.
Mine's 4.86. Me and Andy, I see
Hold on,
me
I
and
wanna
Andy
know-
as the exact same person.
I
wanna
also
know what
live in
Nick's
Our
is.
score would be
No,
exactly
it's
the same.
super-
in
it's
this
lower.
weird world.
Don't even worry.
4.86.
People hate me on Uber. I'm an asshole.
Jesus.
Where do
Hold
you
on.
see it?
Right there it
the
is. 4.82.
Ooh.
And Greg Miller, 4.88. No big deal, everybody. Okay.
I'm going to
No
put
big
it to you
deal.
out there. This
Just
is why
normal human
rating
being.
scores are stupid as shit because it's always 4.8.
So right there, I'd vote you down. I'd
Go to
vote you down.
Amazon,
That's
it's a
not true. I know
4.8.
people-
You don't have a 4.8.
They have really bad scores.
Yeah.
Whatever, 4.5. Who fucking cares?
I think I got rated super
Greg,
low
what's
one
yours?
time.
I don't remember it anymore.
Go check it.
It was like 494 or something.
I got rated really low one time, I think, because I had a friend in an Uber with me who threw up.
That'll do
So
it.
I
I've
think
had that
That'll
too.
do it.
The
Yeah.
Uber guy
It's not
rated
fun
as
for me.
low.
That friend's
Really?
name was
Yeah,
Jared.
it was one time. It was pretty bad. I took care of it though.
Sure.
Which was not
Yeah.
fun, but
Yeah, I never thrown up in an Uber. I
neither.
have passed out, and then I tried to get out of the phone.
And he's up 4.88.
I tried to get out of the car, and the guy grabbed me, and he's like, "You still have my phone." Because my phone was dead, and I asked to use his to order pizza. And the guy was like, all right. And that was fine. And then I think I won points in the Uber, like bonus round, right? In the fact that when I come to work and I if I have to take an Uber, I bring a coffee usually, right? And so sure enough, this guy was going and bumping all over the place, and I spilled some coffee on the back of his seat, right? Cloth seats. I know. And I didn't notice it at first, honestly. And so I opened the door, and he's like, turning, he's like, all right, see. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, what? And I'm like, oh, there's like a wet room. I'm like, was this not here before? He's like, no, I had a ride before this. It wasn't here before. I'm like, I'm so sorry, dude. And I busted out my wallet and gave him $20. He's like, well, I didn't mean it. And I'm like, no, it's my fault. I didn't. And he was like so ready for someone to fight him on it and be an asshole. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Here you go. I wish I could do more for you. He's like, all right, cool. Thanks, man. I'm like, all right, see you later. Now, maybe I got taken for a ride.
You did.
He turned around real quick and he
Uber.
went, blah, I threw water on the floor. Oh, I see what you did there.
yeah. You've ruined Uber, Greg.
Yes, I have.
I don't know if we've talked about this story. Have we?
No, I don't think we
Okay,
ever
I
have.
don't want to be repeating podcasts here. Greg,
That would be the first time.
Greg Miller.
Let me tell you about Grandma Miller.
Uber's way too much.
Not anymore.
And he's
I've
a
been better.
monster.
I've been better.
You've been better. You've been biking.
Yeah, I
You've
got my-
Ubered enough. You've Ubered to this place more than any of us have.
Right, that's right.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Because Greg is so picky about little tiny ass bullshit in very similar to Nick ways. Like
But I'm the good. I'm the pro side of his cons.
I'm making eye contact with you as if you're going to relate. You're not going to relate.
good to be picky.
Our studio
To an
has
extent.
really weird streets, a weird street system in front of us where most of the streets, there's only room for traffic one way, but it's designed for traffic two ways. Doesn't make any sense. For Ubers to pull over, if they were to pull over, that's stopping traffic. So instead of just stopping traffic for just 1 second, hopping out of the car, or, planning ahead of time, telling you or whatever, hey, a block away, I'm going to need to get out. It's going to be a quick thing. Pull over, bam, bam, you're good.
I don't want to be rushed. I don't want to be rushed.
Greg Miller wants to take his sweet ass time. So he tells them to drop him off a block and a half away. Go up a block and
A block.
Is that why we walked so far this morning?
Walk so far. You crossed the street and you took a right and you were there.
A block across the street, all right? It's a big street.
You can see it
It's
from the
street
window.
that you will never cross.
Oh, that's a scary
It's
street.
a scary street, man.
It's a scary street.
There's like just cars coming,
Oh,
there's hills
man.
and stuff. It's crazy. You have done this so much that
I've been to Uber in my will.
Uber thinks that
Yeah.
our address is over there.
Yeah.
So every time I Uber here, every time any of us Uber here, every time guests Uber, when Michael Huber from Easy Allies came, he got
That's where
left
they
out.
stop you?
He's like, where the fuck am I? Like, there's a bunch of houses around
Yeah.
here.
Now
You ruined it.
I fixed it.
3.2
You did not
for you.
fix- you did not fix
3.2
it.
for you, Greg.
Where are the 30-second reviews? 2.0 for you. All right? No. It's, the fact, the problem with Uber, or any Lyft or anybody used to drive, right, is
Ride
they
shares.
have a one-track mind of get you to the destination and stop. And they are robots that power down. And so, yeah, the problem is when they used to drop me off right in front of the office, they block that lane of traffic there. People are honking and freaking the fuck out. If they come this way, like you're saying, and they turn instead of dropping you off at the stop sign, they block the other corner up here. They freak out, everything else. I don't want to get fucking rear-ended. So now when we get up to that spot, I just eventually said to them, hey, just drop me off at the stop sign. Hey, just drop me off at the stop sign. Hey, and then Uber was eventually like, fuck, I guess this is their address.
I didn't know it does that where it just alters
I didn't either
until
it did.
Because it doesn't make sense. An
one
address
day-
is an address. You shouldn't be able to change an address.
One day I was like, oh, this is cool. I looked at the thing. I'm like, oh, just drop me off where I
It's
would
not
get
like we
dropped off.
type in kind of funny and it sends us here. No.
Yeah, it's perfect. And like here, you're saying
Just start putting
I didn't know
next
you're
door
afraid of
address.
this street. I love it.
That's smart.
I love it because you know what Greg Miller loves a lot is asserting his dominance over bad drivers. And so I'll tell you, when we
You're
get to
taking
that
your life in
intersection,
your hands.
I'll do that thing. When we get to that intersection, hold on, let me go free ball
Go
in here.
unclip it, yeah.
Where you'll get to that I'll get to that street corner and I'll wait and I'll see the cars coming and one's coming and I'll just do that like step and if they do like the oh fuck I'm like oh and they're really bad about it and I just do the thing where I like take my time and like stare them down. I'm like I'm tough. I wouldn't fuck with me right now. I look like 6'3" Bigfoot and I'm mad
Cuts
in
you
the
a
middle of
month
the
from
street.
Let's give
now.
him a 3.
Get on the other side of the
Part 3.
Muni.
Greg,
Somebody's
run over
fucking
by a
coming,
car.
hanging over. Look at them. They're like, just walk. I'm not about it. Not about that. Somebody's got to do it. Tell you what almost happened the other day.
You almost got run over
If
by a car?
I'm lying, I'm dying. Riding back from Wings on our bikes. Me and Jen. Jen and I apologize, everybody. We're on Irving over there in the Sunset. Coming up, car, turn signal on. There's no stop sign, but it stopped trying to get ready for the turn. People are on the crosswalk, right? Jen and I are riding up. Another car behind it, no turn signal. We are coming up. The car turns. Great. We start riding alongside the car with no turn signal. They start to turn. And Jen's in front. Now, you don't fuck with my lady. I'm not about this at all. You know what I mean? Because she's out there riding. She thinks everybody's all Canadian and nice to her. I got to say, America's not like that. They will fucking kill you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They start to turn. She pulls up and has to do like the jerk move or whatever. And like, oh, they stop. She goes around. I roll up and I'm like, the Dalai fucking Lama can be in this car. I don't give a shit. He's getting a piece of my mind. Roll up, and I roll up right behind her, and I just lean down. I'm like, use your fucking turn. I didn't even say fucking. I was like, use your turn signal. Old lady sitting shotgun, slightly less older lady driving.
Had a heart attack.
They need to learn.
Someone's got to teach them. We've coddled them too long, these old people.
Here's the deal. In San Francisco, if you guys are not living in a major metropolitan area, we will not understand the war that is raging between bicyclist and automotive driver. It's gone.
Sorry, I asked Joey to bring Greg's helmet so that the people
it's not
Greatest
here.
American
Damn
hero
it, so
helmet.
that people could see
didn't ride
what was yelling at him.
I have an Evil Knievel helmet. A long time ago, it was on one of the morning shows. Might have been Colin Greg Live still.
The thing that I have been feuding with bicyclists in the city over for the last couple months that I've noticed is that stop signs. Now, I don't understand why it would not occur to every fucking person who rides a bike in the city to not stop at a stop sign. And the last 3 times this happened where it's my rightful way to go, and I look, and I see him start to slow down a little bit, and I'm like, oh, he's going to stop at the stop sign, which makes sense because I'm already stopped at the stop sign, and the person in front of him just went. So it's my turn to go clearly by right away. And I start going, and then they start going, and I slam on my brakes, and then they look at me like I'm the asshole. Like, go fucking share the road, bro.
You're supposed
and I'm
to act like a car if you're a bike on the
want
road.
to fucking run you over.
I want you to know.
That's what I want to do.
As somebody who's been a driver far longer than a biker in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Or a resident in San Francisco.
You're a traitor.
I want to let you know I apologize on their behalf.
Thank you.
When I drive, I'm very much a car. I'm using the fucking hand signals
You
and
got
shit.
it.
Like I don't want to get hit. And if I do get hit, I want to know it wasn't my fault. Genevieve Saint-Ange-Miller drives me fucking crazy. Because I ride behind her. Now, granted, if there's other traffic, she'll stop. But if it's like, looks clear, and I'm like, babe, you can't do that. She doesn't signal.
I'm telling you
You're a
right now,
car.
if
You're
you're
a car.
if you're riding
If you're
a bike,
a car, I'm a car.
and you get hit by a car because you
bird,
didn't
I'm a
stop
bird.
at a stop sign, it's your own damn fucking fault. And you should tell all your kids to do the exact same thing because we don't need your stupid fucking bloodline.
Well, I mean, the kids
and
could
your
learn. It's gonna be the learning-
gene pool fucking mucking up the works for future generations. Just keep going.
Hard to believe he'd be less than
You'd be less than
3.2.
Also, well, if you think your kids are gonna do it, just feed them some Tide Pods. Let them have them.
Jesus.
Just put them in the fuck. Put
Is that
a
still-
bowl of
That's
candy in
not
front of
even-
them. Bowl of Tide Pods in front of them. Let them pick.
Wait, what was in the other bowl?
Candy.
That looks exactly like Tide Pods.
Yeah.
Once you bite into it, you have to
I give
find
people
out.
so much shit for this Tide Pod thing because I think it's hilarious. But we used to buy these like whiteners that like I picked one up and they're gooey feeling, like kind of fluffy feeling, and they smell like fruity candy. And I actually thought, oh no, I wonder what this tastes like. Like I'm an adult male and I'm a smart human being. I'm not stupid. You guys have been around me long. You see me do stupid shit, but shut the fuck up. I literally smelled this thing and was like, I wonder if this tastes as good as it smells. And I'm like, now I'm making fun of people for fucking eating Tide Pods.
Micro topic. What's the stupidest thing you think you've seen Nick do? I don't have a great example. He's like, you see me do dumb stuff.
We've
Like,
told the story a million times, but when we were at the party,
Which party?
VidCon.
Oh, Christ.
Are you gonna stop me?
No, I don't know the story. I want to hear it.
I don't want to repeat that
Okay.
story.
We'll tell you off air.
I just did something stupid that I thought was going to be funny, and it was clearly... It's one of those things where I did it. It's one of those things
I don't
where,
think it's a bad story to tell because it's a learning experience.
Absolutely
It's a
learning
lot like when I was talking about my dice thing when I went out there. I'm like, oh, this isn't the audience I'm used to playing for. I need to change.
I was at... we were at a vid... I'll tell a story. Fuck it. We were at a VidCon with the bar party at the Hilton in the VidCon.
This was our first VidCon, right?
And
so to give you context, this is 2012.
Oh, wow.
Tim's super young. Nobody really knows him that well.
Right.
You and I have worked together a long time, but not been partners
we haven't
ever.
gelled, yeah.
But we're there because, hey, Greg, you have a YouTube show called Up at Noon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to send all of you down there. Eric Hart's schmoozing. Tim will be there because he convinced everyone to go to VidCon. He'll be the one to identify people and tell you he's totally Buster from Arrested Development, or no, from Buster
He'd be
from
like
Veep.
this.
This is I Justine. She does blah blah blah. This is
That's from Devil Wears Prada.
This is the VidCon that gets me on the gauntlet because I run into Ashley and Bernie there and talk to them
Yeah.
about
This
it.
is the VidCon where Gavin threw up everywhere and ended up in Bernie's room.
Oh, right. In the elevator and he pressed all the buttons.
And this
Yes.
is the VidCon that I almost got kicked out of because we were just talking to a group of people, and I thought we were vibing. I thought I was probably
You
a little,
were feeling it. That's the thing.
I was just
That's
on
the
a
night
level.
you stopped drinking.
Yeah, well, no, I was
Forever.
drunk, and I was like, oh, we're having fun. Everyone's laughing at what I'm talking about, and that's super great. And I just, for whatever reason, thought it would be funny to take the drink out of the person next to my hand we had been talking for like 5-10 minutes. I thought we were vibing on that. Took the drink out of her hand, sipped it. Oh no, I poured it in my drink.
Your glass.
And then I handed
You're like,
it back
I'm
to
out
him.
of drink.
And I did it. And as I did it, all of a sudden the tone changed. And it was, why would this guy fucking... It was just an immediate, like, break slam. This is an inappropriate thing to do. And I recognized it. And I handed it back, and they were like, And I was like, I don't know what I said, but I was very apologetic. I was like, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do
Was
like
it an
that.
open
I just
bar?
thought... no, but I was like,
Okay.
I was like, I'm totally going to buy you
So I
guys
was gonna
another
say, if
drink.
it was an open bar and you're like, oh, let me take some of your drink. Cause
No,
I'm too
it was
lazy to go get
just
a free drink.
in my brain. I'm like, oh, of course I'm gonna buy this guy another drink after this
Yeah.
joke. Like I was getting it around for everyone. I just thought it'd be funny, but there was no segue into that. It was just hard stop for everyone. And it was one of my most embarrassing moments because there's nothing worse than when something doesn't land, and when it doesn't land with a bunch of people who are then like don't know you and then they're offended by it. I was just like, and then Tim saw the panic in my eyes where I was like, how do I get out of this gracefully? And
I
Tim
don't
just
think
like,
you
You guys all
realized
saw
it was
this
an
happening?
issue until I like looked at you and I was like, uh-oh. Like, because there were other elements at play, but it was also Philip DeFranco's manager.
Yeah. Well, no, it was his friends that had come.
You were talking to Philip DeFranco's manager. You took it out of someone else's hand, who ended up being his friend.
Yeah, it was
that he
bad.
was looking after. And
It was just not. It was one of those. I'm like, that'll be funny. And then as I was doing, I'm
We've
like,
all
this is
been
not
there.
gonna be
We've all
funny.
done some
Totally.
shit.
We've all
that
done
doesn't
dumb
work out.
bullshit.
And to the guy's credit, I forget the gentleman's name, his old manager's name, but he was like, hey man, that's not cool. And I was like, you're 100% right. I'm so sorry. I apologize to the guy. I'm like, I'm gonna eat you guys
And then
drinks.
you apologize to him every VidCon since.
And he had the second. What was hilarious is I was like, I built it up in my brain, and I was like, oh, he's gonna just like hate me. This guy's gonna hate me forever. And the next time he saw me, he's like, hi, I'm so and so. And I'm like,
Well, he
you
saw
have no
you
idea. who I am.
24 hours
Thank
later.
God.
No, I mean a year later when I saw him at VidCon again, he had no recollection of me whatsoever. Just zero.
You're that fucking guy that took half my drink.
You son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
It's
you
one
can't
of
have
those-
it.
able to
it's
enjoy
one of those-
drink since.
Well, it's just one of those reminders that like you build things up in your brain, and then it's like, how egotistical are you? That you think this guy would be like seething at the fucking like or brimming over with rage that like for a year straight he's been thinking about how this guy disrespected. He didn't fucking think about it.
You disrespect my family.
None of those people think about that anymore, but I do because it's an indelible mark on an otherwise sterling reputation that I have in social circles. So there you go. That is an embarrassing thing that I have done for sure.
Nick,
Yes.
What's your topic?
Achievements.
Ooh, like Xbox and
Hunters?
trophies?
A perfect example. What do you guys view as achievements? For context, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm not a very materialistic person, but I know that some people view the acquisition of certain items as an achievement. And I want to know where you guys come down on this.
I've never thought about this before.
Yeah.
But now thinking about it and what I consider to be achievements in my life, I feel like it's things that happen to you or things that you experience that change your life in some way.
Okay.
Usually, I mean, for the better.
Usually in a better way, yeah.
Yeah. Improve your life or change your course in some
Example.
capacity. Starting Always Open. One of my biggest achievements, I think, at Rooster Teeth.
Because I think since we've known you, you've been talking about wanting to do a show at Rooster Teeth and workshopping. And you guys have like a pilot kind of program, right? Or like where you submit and people have to back it. It's been a while since I remember.
Yeah, it has to get greenlit, go through a bunch of different processes and stuff. You have to do pilot episodes. Yeah, the whole shebang. And doing Always Open is something that I never thought I'd be able to do. Something that has definitely changed my life for the better. Changed the course of my future and what I feel like I'm capable of. Another achievement for myself would also be co-directing RTX. Something I never thought I'd be able to do. Something that has given me a lot of knowledge and experience in something.
Your other co-director at one point was Gus, right?
Gus Cirola.
So basically, you were director of RTX.
Exactly.
If you add
He's
Gus
been
into the mix,
checked
you're
out
actually
since year
taking
2.
one person away with Gus. God bless him.
Yeah, he's like a negative person. I'm just kidding.
Greg, how do you see achievements? Because you're not a very materialistic person. You like what you like.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I've noticed one thing about you, and this is something that inspires me.
Yeah, I like
as far as what I
Funko
think.
Pops, all right? Don't get on my back about it.
I'm not your wife. I'm not going to get on your back. I don't have to live around those fucking things. So you can fill a whole room one day when you have a house with Funko Pops and just roll around in them naked for all I give a shit. And when Priscilla pisses on one of them, you just can be like, whatever.
We'll be lucky.
But no, you're not a person that necessarily gravitates toward the materialistic side of achievements, right?
Sure.
And what I mean by that is like, I've never heard you be like, I gotta go out there and get a fucking Porsche or like a fancy car, or I need to like get those Yeezys or any of those things. I think you are one of the kinds of people that I think is doing it right, in which you're like, an achievement for you is the journey. An achievement for you is the thing that you get to do. The living in a good apartment with your wife, I think, is the reward for that.
Sure.
In a lot of ways.
That's
right?
a good way to put it, yeah.
So something you've worked hard on, essentially, to achieve something.
Yeah.
The achievements you're putting out, like of a car, or this or that, I mean, like material, I think everybody has something like that, but maybe not an achievement in terms of... I think when you say achievement, like when we did the pre-show, like, what topic? You're like, I'm going to talk about achievements. Okay. I'm thinking more of life milestones than I am a physical good. But I understand setting the achievement being, like, I don't know if he would put this as an achievement in life, right? But like, Ryan McCaffrey has been questing for a Tesla forever.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to where he's actually going to have that. So like, setting that as the goal and reaching it is an achievement.
Right, but that's my question, right? Digging into the minutia of that. Is getting the Tesla the achievement? Or is it all the steps he took, growing the social feeds, getting to a point where he has that level of visibility in the Tesla community, which I have to imagine there's a Tesla community, right? To the point where the people would want to support him, and thereby going to the next level of whatever it is to be an influencer or online personality or journalist or whatever got him to this point. Is the physical thing the achievement in that case, or is it all the steps he had to take and make himself better and get stronger and be more resilient and more dedicated? And the growth that he achieved in doing all that, is that the achievement?
I don't know if achievements could be physical.
Well, then they can. Like, for instance, like a house is a huge achievement. A child is an achievement, and that's a physical
I feel
thing.
like it's more like a task you complete.
So,
but
they
represent something.
Because I feel like you're right. And I feel like with everything you're saying about the journey being more important than the destination and all
you
that.
see, when he says it like that means...
No, I'm shaking my head like this.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's right. But I think that with that, and with the because I feel like cars are such the easy analog for it of when you're talking about, like, with the Tesla, with Ryan and all that. For me, I remember just with the situation I grew up with, where I never thought I was going to ever have a car. And when the time came where it's like our family needed a car because my mom's health issues and everything, I was like, I remember I was 18. I didn't get my license until I was 20. So somewhere around that time, me saving up money and with the money that my mom had to help try to get something going, the first car we were looking into was, I had a budget of like $2,000, which is, you're not really getting a car.
Not going to get you a lot.
You're getting something that
Not a good car.
that can move for a month at a time, then it breaks down, then you have to that was a real thing with my 92 Camry forever. RIP. And I never thought, like, I remember just thinking, I was like, fuck, for just $7,000 more than this, I can get that sweet ass Toyota Celica that I want so bad. It's going to be this obnoxious blue and I can't wait. And I wanted that so bad, but I was like, that'll never happen. That wasn't even a goal for me. It was just like, that will never happen. And then IGN, kind of funny, everything started.
You worked. You
needed a car, worked, all this. The journey happened, not to get the car, but every day I drive my beautiful Toyota Prius C in an obnoxious blue.
Beautiful is one word for it.
God, I love it so much. It's not the Celica, but it's the car I wanted to get, and I was
Something
able to
you're proud
buy.
of.
Very, very proud of it. And when I drive it, it's a daily reminder to me of like, holy crap, I can't believe I have this, and I didn't try to get this. Mm-hmm. I tried to just live my life right, and it brought me to the place that I never thought that I would be. Mm-hmm. And so to me, like the physical thing is kind of the the achievement. It's getting that car, like pulling that car into my mom's driveway for the first time and seeing her face. That was definitely part of the achievement.
I would have loved to have seen her face the first time you pulled into the neon blue Prius C.
What was her face like when you rolled up and turned the bass knob up months later and rattled the fucking house windows?
Years later. All right.
Now that's an achievement.
By the way, there's a documentary I want to watch with you called 808. Have you seen that?
No.
It's on Amazon Prime. I don't know if it's good or not, but it's on Amazon Prime, and it's about the 808 bass and how it like basically changed, revolutionized everything. Yeah.
Basically.
So there you're gonna go.
Basically.
She still got it.
She still got it, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, it's interesting. When you originally said this, my answer was timely because I was going to say today. I almost cried in the office today.
It was an achievement.
Because today was so amazing on every level of I mean, we all only know parts of what anybody's doing at a day, but Barb's visiting and you guys were doing the morning show. Cool Greg was running the morning show. Out there, Britt and Andrea were getting ready to get Kind of Funny Games Daily going. Tim and Joey were hammering out Kind of Funny Prom nonstop. Andy was working on the new PlayStation VR thumbnail template and having a conversation with me about that. I was totally dicking off trying to look busy. Kevin was running around getting ready for the upcoming PlayStation, the Let's Plays we just did that I don't think we should say anything about. And it was kind of funny working in a way we work all the time, but not on that many projects seamlessly at the same time, where everything was going. And when I walked in here, and I guess it was later, but you guys had already done your show. When I walked in here and Britt and Andrew were doing Kind of Funny Games Daily, and I sat there and didn't look at them because I don't want them to get like weird. And I didn't want to be part of the show. Just sat there and looked away and listened. Like to hear them do like the stupid transition and all the dumb shit that I've just invented to get through the fucking show and transition between things. It was like, wow, like we've always been building something. And we've always talked about like, one day I'll transition into the background in some respects and hopefully have other employees that do this or do that. Like watching someone run Games Daily without me, I mean, period, but have me be in the office and do my stupid shit. And tomorrow it's Jared and Witta when we record this. Like, today was an achievement in terms of like, wow, we were 4 morons who quit our jobs and worked out of a spare bedroom, right? And like now it's all
living
this.
Beyond you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right?
Now we're 7 morons.
But it was like, it's weird to, I couldn't figure out, I tweeted about it, but I don't think I did it justice, of just like, I feel like I got a glimpse at my legacy today. You know what I mean? And like, don't get me wrong, like I consider Beyond and Up at Noon and everything I did at IGN as part of that. But we didn't, Beyond, whatever. It wasn't an invention from the ground up. And it definitely is an invention that I left and they kept the same template. Whereas like if I leave tomorrow, die tomorrow, again, if I die on camera, show it to everybody.
Oh, that's getting millions of views. Yeah, we're going to monetize the shit.
But I mean, like, I figure the Roper Report will always
like
be
everything else we do.
Same 9.5K we get in the morning.
So today was super special. You know
I agree. And that's the thing I think about too, is that like I'm probably, I would probably say I'm the most materialistic person out of the group.
You like a pristine car.
I like a pristine car. I like the nicer things. Like I have my eye on things that I want. I have watches, things like that. Like when I dream about getting a new car, I think about getting something fancy and cool and like sporty and fun. I
feel like that's just you putting it in a different category, right? Like with Jen and I playing Monster Hunter, like insane people side by side.
Sure.
It is this thing of now where it's like, oof, I gotta get another TV. Because like we're using the 2 TVs, but it's my old plasma that I bought for GTA 4. So it's like, fuck, that thing looks like shit next to my newer TV. But if I'm getting another TV, they need to match. And if I'm, so I need whatever other TV I get, I need to have it match that one. And then I need 2 entertainment centers that match so they're side by side and look great. Because right now it's on a fucking rickety IKEA. Like, it's cute, like but it's like I want it to have a unified look to it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Danger.
And it's like that thing of like, I just don't want, I don't want to pull the trigger on that.
You want to know how crazy? In my brain, it cut to you as like Commissioner Gordon. You're like, I don't know what to do. And you throw up the bat symbol. And it's that shot from Batman Returns where he looks up and it's so obviously like a light that hits him.
It's just like, imagine anyone else
it's just
there.
Tim like, I've been called. And, and then you guys meet at Best Buy and Tim's like, no, you will give us the top of the line Samsung for less money.
I'm waiting for the day, Greg, that you come to me and you're like, Tim, help me. What TV do I buy? I love
Cheeks
it.
Jr. hit me up. He's trying to give me the hookups.
Good. He'll hook you up. I'll tell you what to get.
And I got you super mad the other day because I just Googled the TV I already own. Because I'm happy with the other TV I own, not the old one.
You are breaking his heart. Let me don't even say it.
4K is a fad. 4K is a fad. It's not going to be around forever. My games look fine.
Don't do it to Tim. Don't do this to Tim.
I have no opinions one way or the other.
If you saw my TV, that would change. It's a religious experience.
No opinions one way or the other. I am neutral.
Switzerland.
Huh?
Switzerland.
Oh, you're doing some Captain America.
Switzerland.
Some Stanley Tucci. Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. So, I mean, I
don't think materialistic is limited to you. Like, I think about, man, one day I'm going to pull the trigger and do all this shit.
Sure. And I get that. But I mean, I think my argument still stands, which is that, like, and this, well, actually, it's not necessarily an argument. It's just kind of how I'm trying to look at life right now, because as I do things every night, as we build this, and it's the slow grind, like, I look at those opportunities I have to buy myself something as the reward for the things that with all the hard work we all put into this. But then I look back, like, travel is a perfect example where, like, once a year I like to take my wife somewhere. She loves traveling. And to her, being able to travel to different countries is a huge achievement. To me, being able to grow a business that allows us to do that on a yearly basis is the achievement for me. The icing on the cake is that I get to spend time with my wife in a cool country and pretend like I'm a tourist and a stranger. And, well, not I don't have to pretend like I'm a tourist. I'm a fucking tourist, clearly.
I was going to say,
everywhere
you're
you go, like,
downtown SF and coming out and being like,
Americans.
I guess it depends what your intention is when you're working on something.
Right.
Like, is my intention to build a business big enough where I could afford these luxuries? Or is it to just work on whatever so I could travel? You know, like
I guess that's a good point.
It depends on how you go about
to my
it.
wife, that's I think what it is. To her, it's like she, and not to use the old parlance of like the difference between quote unquote Europeans and Americans, which I think is lessening as the years go on, unfortunately. But the Europeans always have the saying of like they work to live, and we live to work in this country, and that's always like kind of the number one difference. I mean, there's minutiae in there, of course. It's an overgeneralized statement, but you do kind of feel that sometimes when you go to other places where you're like, oh, you guys are just like when I went to Copenhagen, you get a feel for people like wanting to go out and have 3 or 4 hour dinners with their friends. And to them, it's less about grinding it out every day and more about like, are we balancing our lives with the things that we love in them? And I think it's important to do that. But yeah, my wife is definitely a work to live. No, what's the good one? Work to live, not live to work kind of person. Definitely. And I think I'm more the opposite.
Do you feel like it's lessened?
Yeah, definitely.
Me too.
Well, I feel like I've had since being married and actually really in the last few years doing this, having my wife be there as a person who can not pull me back, but just sort of, I described it today as sort of my totem, where like she is she's my connection to reality.
Sure.
She is the person that makes me think like when I'm going a mile a minute and I'm turning into asshole Hulk Nick, she's the one that goes, hey, hey.
It's getting, the sun's
lullaby.
getting pretty low.
I am into this. Continue. Please.
Yeah, I just kind of pass out
My
and turn
fan
back into
fiction is
Evernorth.
coming true.
No, I'm the same way with Jen, where it's like I don't feel like an asshole, or I don't feel like I'm being short, and she's like, "You're being short. You're hungry or something." I'm like, "Oh, am I? All right, cool." Like, all right, yep, you've said that. That's true. That must be true. I understand that.
Yeah,
and that's the fun thing about knowing each other. I think you know what I mean. Like there was a meeting a while back or whatever where we were all talking as a company, and it was a healthy discourse where people weren't in agreement or whatever. And you eventually asked a question, like, "Am I wrong?" And we were all like, "Well, yeah." And you were like, "All right, then I'm sorry." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you rather than fight it, you're like, you know what? I love and respect every one of you and trust you. And I apologize. That's not what I was trying to do.
It's a hard thing to do, and honestly,
I know it so well.
It's moments like that that I look and I go, that in and of itself, even though it's not necessarily a positive thing for me, like when those moments happen in my relationship, those are when I feel like we've achieved something.
100%.
Because I feel like we've grown. I feel like with you guys and with my wife, when we can get to that point where, like, I feel like my relationship with my wife is an achievement in that we've gone through a lot of hard times, gone through some shit that I've talked about before, but like that is not an ideal relationship for people, right? We did not have the same. We didn't have the path of when we met each other. We're like, we just knew instantly. Like it took us a while to get to that path. And even when we got married, there was a lot of really weird, murky territory that up until maybe like 3-4 years ago, we finally hit a stride. We finally hit a point where I'm like, oh, I get it now. And most of it was me because I think she was always like, he'll catch up eventually, and I did.
That is so true, though.
Yeah, mostly because she knew. She's like, I have faith in you.
Through these couple
but I had to. But I had to find my way, and a lot of that was kind of funny. A lot of it was forming kind of funny and realizing, oh my God, I can be the person my wife knows I can be, and that's really cool. And then suddenly, it was almost like we weren't. It's like we weren't like there was no friction. We weren't like bouncing into each other. We started finally just kind of riding parallel to each other, and then occasionally we'd dock and hang out, and that's when the sex would happen. And then we'd go away.
That's what docking is.
Doc, yeah.
You know, but no, okay, you know, we are now more connected than we are disconnected. And there were those moments where I didn't even know we were disconnected. I just knew there was something wrong, and she would be like, "We need to fight to get back to this point." And now we have given each other the tools to do that, and to me, that's a huge achievement.
Hell yeah,
because it means
totally.
there's a system where we can like, oh wait, we've been here before. This is ground we've been on before. We know where the map is. Where's the map? Oh, here's the map.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Happy Town. That's where we want to be, Happy Town. Let's dock.
Yeah, it's just, for me, all of my biggest achievements that I would say, I feel like they are intrinsically tied to relationships. I think that my relationships with my friends and my girlfriend totally go with all. It's weird even calling her my girlfriend. I usually don't do that, but
That's why I'm doing the old motion.
well, I don't know. No, yeah, the old
my girlfriend.
Why? What's wrong? Sorry,
I don't know.
Maybe I
I mean-
missed something. Why don't you call her your girlfriend?
No,
Oh,
it's not that I
no.
don't call her. I don't refer to her.
She's Gia.
as
Gia's a character. Everybody knows Gia.
Calling her my girlfriend sounds weird to me.
At any point, she could just walk in with a giant glass of wine.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Gia.
But it's funny with her because she is so intrinsically tied to what I consider my achievement of Kind of Funny, because I met her a month after we left IGN. So to her, she does not like
all she
IGN is a
knows
weird
of you.
my past life. IGN's
yeah.
like my ex-girlfriend that like she knows the stories of, but like, you know, she doesn't actually know. They're not actually friends and stuff. So with Kind of Funny going through it all, it's like she's been there from the beginning of us having to really figure it out. Because Kind of Funny existed before we left IGN, but like really it didn't turn into this thing. She was there for the planning of KFL 1 all the way to now, and like every single thing, it's like her baby as much as mine, just because she has to deal with it every night. You know that I come home or whatever. And so like that's a cool thing where it's being able to share moments with her where it all feels like an achievement. Like our relationship and Kind of Funny feels like an achievement that both of those kind of serve each other in a way. And
What's the word? Symbiotic.
it's symbiotic, yeah. And moving over to like my relationship
I read the
with my
dictionary.
friends.
It's like a parasite. That
I was going to say, I know about it from Spider-Man, but
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
But there's moments that I can think of, like obviously Kind of Funny Live, all of them are a huge moment for me and like huge achievement. But it's like a funny thing that I would think about is me crowd surfing at Kind of Funny Live too.
Yeah, when
was
you pump your fist.
such an achievement. Like
Because
that's so
leading up
Oh,
to
I
it, all
remember
Nick
that.
was is like, this is stupid. This won't work. I'm Nick.
that's all that my entire life was leading into that of like I want this so bad. Like just that moment. Just one moment of me doing that. That sounds so fucking awesome.
That was one of the coolest moments I've ever experienced in real life.
Thank you,
hope
and I
know
appreciate
that
that so much.
photo, that video.
That everything about it. But
Just
the thing
also
is,
being there.
the thing to me is,
experiencing it.
as amazing as that was, and as much of achievement as that was, that's not the achievement I think about. The achievement was me and Kevin behind the door, hearing people chant "Let Tim host," and me and him looking at each other, and you can see it on camera. I'm tearing up right now saying this, but in the KFL2 video, like watching me and Kevin react, and we have this physical moment where we like grab each other, and it's like, we did this, guys. Like,
Yeah.
dude, we fucking are here, and this is about to happen. And then he fucking goes out there and lifts me on his shoulders. It's amazing. And like, to me, that is an achievement of our friendship and our relationship. And Kind of Funny works because we all have these different relationships. And to me, I think all of that is my biggest achievement.
That's perfect.
That's beautiful.
What I want to do right now is shout out to the post show. Someone take a note. What I want to watch in the post show, not the Olympics to get us in trouble. I want to watch
get in trouble.
Did that?
the I haven't watched the reveal of
Ice
Kevin
dancing.
at Kind of Funny Live 1 in years. I want to watch that, and then I want to watch this moment. Yeah. Again,
See, but you know what's funny?
Because we own
And
those videos, we'll be all right.
This is proof to me that it is one of my favorite achievements, like, and how I do it that way. I watch that constantly.
Yeah.
I look at that all the time. I look at the moment of me crowd surfing all
Sure.
the time. I look at when the Kind of Honeys come out at Kind of Funny Live
Who
3.
run this mother?
Gia holding up the belt. That's my favorite moment of KFL 3. That whole
we're
thing is
fucking idiots.
We're so stupid.
We're
I love
such
it though.
idiots. I go
Yeah.
back and look at those moments, and I'm like, people let us do this. They
Why?
support us in
Why?
this.
And
This
And
is
they're going
ridiculous.
crazy for it.
That's
Yeah.
that to me is like you want to talk about like top level achievement stuff. Like the fact that we have been able to build this like community, and like the fact that I can take part in building this community is the biggest achievement of all. Because these are a group of people that are like-minded psychopaths like us who are just out there like
but also
not the best kind.
And I talk about this all the time with Rooster Teeth and also especially Ruby. You have no idea the impact you're having on people's lives in the long run. Like some people find lifelong friends through your community and that changes their lives, or it changes the course of they're experiencing something, whether it be depression, anxiety, whatever it is, and then watching your content helps them get out of that, and then they go on to do amazing things in their life.
The amount of people who hit me up about the post I put on the forums right of you're not allowed to kill yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was something I put up, but I never thought about that for years. I'd be getting people like, hey, I read that and I needed that and thank you. You know what I mean? And like that saved me this week around.
We had a nice post from Pink Haired Girl, whose name we should probably learn one of these days.
I like now she's Pink Haired Girl.
I like calling her Pink Haired Girl. That was great.
Over on Reddit, and that was the same thing. We bought her dinner because she's awesome and a good friend.
Yeah, she's always really nice
and a good
to us.
friend in the way best friends are best friends to each other. You know what I mean? We don't know her outside of talking to her about the movies at the end of the movies.
Yeah.
Give some context on the story for people that don't know.
why'd you buy your
Oh, you don't check the subreddit every day, guys? Come on, man, please. Come on, get on. Okay, so when we go watch the Marvel movies, we often end up by duress at Daly City because Kevin is all like, I hate the Alamo. It sucks.
You hate the Alamo
It
Draft House?
doesn't-
In SF, it's garbage.
It's not great.
Oh my God. It is not
like
as
it.
good
The
as
food's
any of
not
the
great.
Austin ones.
Okay.
Yes.
Wings are
It
wet.
sucks. It doesn't suck. The wings have gotten better. Nick will have my
have
back
gotten
on
better.
that.
They've gotten
Thank
a
you
lot
very
better.
much.
And
It's still the best movie watching experience in the city. I digress though.
What a joke.
Playing the movie.
Joke.
All right,
What
once
did
they
I
have the
fall
power up,
into?
doesn't
Jesus
matter.
Christ.
I'm just all alone on this argument.
I'll come.
I like it.
Anyways, we end up at the Daly City
much as
Century.
Century
Is that
Night.
a Century Night?
I think it's a Century Theater.
And so eventually, when we started going, we see all the superhero movies at midnight or 7 o'clock our time. And at the end, like the first time, this girl with pink hair walked over. She's like, "Hey, you guys are kind of funny, right?" We're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, hey, I'm a Rooster Teeth fan and this, that, and the other, and I'm a big fan of you guys." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then, you know, a bunch of people, it's, you know, fish in a barrel at a superhero midnight opening.
of course.
Lots of people know us, but eventually, like, she's there every movie. And so this last time around, we went to the sushi spot below that Kevin says is the best sushi in the city. Do you agree with that as well, Tim? Do you want to be wrong on
I
that?
don't agree with that.
You guys haven't had what I eat.
It's not
What
good,
do you
right?
eat?
Back me up. Thank you very
Dragon Ball
much.
Fireman roll.
It's terrible.
Sound
They're
good?
always understaffed. The
Have
two
you
women.
been to Ebisu? Like, Ebisu's better.
No. I don't like
You don't think Ebisu's better than the fucking movie theater? I hate you.
Ebisu, overrated as fuck. Overrated.
I take back
Oh,
everything I said about this guy.
sure, sure. Oh, no, no, no.
Overrated.
I'm not saying, oh my God, eat there and blow your brains out. It'll never get better. You know what I mean?
But the thing with that is, and I don't think they're in the same category. I feel like the
5
movie
minutes
theater
of
sushi
don't kill
is its
yourself,
own thing.
blow your brain.
Just a couple suicide jokes right in there. Why not? Let's throw them in there.
Anyways, we went to the sushi spot. We walked in. We sat down. We were eating. Eventually, more people sat around us, and I think it was Tim or was it Nick or I think it was you, right?
I think it was Tim.
Who's like, hey, the pink hair girl. Who always
girl. Oh, yeah,
talks to
yeah,
us.
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
saw
oh
her,
yeah. And I leaned over to Nick. I'm like, how are we doing on Patreon? Can we buy them dinner? And Nick's like, yeah, we can do that. I'm like, all right, cool. So we called the waitress.
Well, first
like,
off, I kind of looked over and I was like, yeah, they're only eating like one thing.
there's 3 of them. Yeah, we got that. There's no alcoholic
I
beverages.
look over there. They got the fucking like $100 octopus.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So we,
10
blowfish.
per
so we just, you know,
sake.
told the waitress like we'll pay for their meal and we paid for it or whatever. And so then when they
It was the best sushi in SF in your
Joey Noel
Not
just came in
true.
to say, Joey Noel, come here. I like to have a voice of reason once in a while. You're young, you're hip, you know
she
what's
likes
happening.
Grease
She is a
too,
voice
for
of
Christ's
reason.
sake.
She's got
She's
pink
not a
hair.
voice of
She's
How
reason.
is
got pink
Ebisu?
hair, too.
It's the best sushi. I make my parents drive from Sacramento to go to Ebisu for my birthday every year.
But to be clear, you like it in the same way I like Gordo's. It's
It's
true.
just that you're both wrong.
You have
Gordo's
these
the
like
donut place?
these Gordo.
I guess
no,
it's
no, I
a
love
growing
that
up
too. It's a burrito
family
place, too.
tradition.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of
That's what I'm
place.
saying.
Okay, now,
I'll concede.
Real quick.
hold
I
on.
never said it was the best sushi.
I don't know why I'm pointing. I put it.
I never said it was the best.
Can they hear you?
It's
They
just
can't hear
good?
you. It doesn't matter. Now, my next question, Joey Noel,
Yeah.
is Alamo in SF the best movie watching experience in SF?
Yeah.
All
I knew we
right,
hired a smart one. Everybody.
it's cool, guys.
Here comes a dumb one.
Real quick, just to clarify, I never said it was the best sushi. It has my favorite roll.
It's
and
a
it's
dragon
right next
roll.
to my... No, it's not.
Everyone
it's
And
not.
it's right next to your favorite
You're not-
theater.
It's a
the
fireman
dragon.
roll. See,
Every
you sound
place
so
has a
stupid in
fireman
front of
roll.
all the best friends right
It's
now.
not an original
are
item
you
there.
excited?
They didn't make up the concept of a fireman. And
Yeah,
they
but a
put
lot
it
of
in
places
the
don't
roll.
have it.
I've never
Ton
found
of
it
places
anywhere
that
else.
have it.
I
What's
swear.
one- whoa,
I
one place,
I
Nick.
swear.
I
I walk in.
You and me sushi in LA has a fireman roll.
Oh,
in LA.
Boom.
That's
LA.
You said name
I'll keep
one.
my eye out because fireman roll I would think is everywhere because I have seen it a lot of places. But I'll look out for you.
Yeah, what's in it?
It's got octopus on it.
So good.
The place it gives me the squeegees every time I eat
Stop
there.
ordering stupid shit.
We bought her dinner. I was like, where? How did we get it?
What?
We bought her
dinner.
dinner. She came over. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. Thank you. And then left. And then we went and watched a movie and everything was great. And then 2 days ago, she put up a post on Reddit of like, she was in a bad place, is getting out of the bad place. And it was like, we did this and it totally, was an amazing night for her and her friends. And they couldn't believe that people were this nice and that we did
And
this
that
kind of thing.
people cared.
And
Yeah,
it's funny
yeah.
because we're on the other side where it's like, hey, it's that girl that is super supportive.
Hey, it's
and
that girl.
super
Yeah,
nice
I
to
can't
us.
believe she watches our content.
Why would she care
Yeah.
about us? And
Yeah,
so
And it's what I responded to on Reddit, right? In the way that I want to do stuff like that for everybody. And it's impossible because I don't see you all at the sushi place.
And you don't have unlimited funds. To buy everyone
Exactly.
dinner all the
Of
time.
course. So
Of
it's like when it does happen, yeah. And I gestured towards Kevin. But when Tim and I went to RTX Sydney and it was like, are we doing okay on Patreon? Yeah, okay. Hey, we're going to buy at the meet and greet for the 30 kids game. We're going to buy everybody. And everybody's like, oh my God. And it's like, you're doing us the favor by
we're just
watching this
giving you money
content.
back.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just trying to pay it forward because you've all been way too nice to us. And that's the point. And that's
Somewhere
how the
there's
best friend bullshit works.
one person watching being like, my Patreon money is going to some Australian kids' dinner.
You kidding
They're
me?
good kids,
Nah,
man.
most people don't. I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, yeah, it's cool to have the back and forth dynamic. And I remember the first time she came up to us, I think it was actually before one of the movies that we were watching over Century, and it just kind of popped up and was like, hey guys, I don't want to interrupt you. But
Blade Runner.
It was Blade Runner. That's right. I think she was
why.
actually in the row in front of us or something,
was.
and heard us talking, and she stood up and I was like, oh man, she's gonna tell us to shut up because we're way too loud. And she was like, hey guys, just want you guys to know I'm big fans.
See,
Big
I
fan.
missed
And then
that.
sat
So
down.
I'd always thought she was a Rooster Teeth fan first and foremost. For the
mean,
longest
isn't
time,
I think
everybody?
she is a Rooster Teeth fan as well. I think, and I could be wrong, I think she was wearing a Rooster Teeth shirt the first time we met.
I
Or
wasn't
at least
there.
one of the times we
Yeah,
met.
that's probably
That
why. That's
might have
what
been it.
skewed my opinion of it.
Yeah.
It was like the other. There was when Jeff was in town, right? We went to the movies with Jeff. No, Jack. We went to the movies with Jack, right? For Thor.
I think he was here for Thor
It wasn't
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. It wasn't Ragnarok. It was...
It doesn't matter. Superfluous information.
No, it was Justice League. It really doesn't matter.
God, Jesus, yeah. And when we came out of that and I went to the bathroom and this guy stopped me on the way. And he's like, "Holy shit, Greg Miller!" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh man, I'm a huge fan. Blah blah. I'm a big Rooster Teeth fan." I'm like, "Oh really?" I'm like, "Jack's right there." He's like, "What?" And just walked away from me. I'm like,
He's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I don't have to
walks
set up
away.
for the B
Cool
squad.
idea.
Awesome, thanks.
That's great. Yeah.
My topic
Yeah.
plays into your topic.
Okay.
Because again, today, I walk around this place and I see all this amazing shit happen, everybody being creative and making amazing things, Kevin solving problems left and right, Andy making awesome fucking art, you hosting a show where you probably talked about buttholes. It was all good. I had that moment though, right, where I thought about it, and my question is, what did you want to be when you grew up? Because I always say, since the 4th grade, I wanted to write about video games and all that jazz, right? Which I got to achieve, and it's been great, and it's led to all this. And so it's rare that I sit back and think about what it was before the 4th grade, right? I remember being when you're a dumb kid and you're kicking stupid things around. I wanted to be a paranormal investigator at one point, of course, because of Ghostbusters, paranormal psychology, which I did not understand, but I was like, sure, why not? Venkman can do it, I can do it. Sure. And then, of course, I was into wrestling. I was like, or pro wrestling, not backyard wrestling, pro wrestling. That'd be exciting. And I was drawing cartoons. I was like comic strips, stuff like that. And I do. It's a weird thing to say aloud because it sounds like such an asshole thing to say. Mm-hmm. But as a kid who spent a lot of time by himself, playing with his action figures, doing that, lost in your own head, drawing comics, all this stuff, jacking off. Now, I didn't have it for a long time. That's a topic for a different day. You remember the first time you jacked off?
Mm-hmm.
Sure do.
Vividly.
We got to talk about that at some point.
Mine was an accident.
Yours was, that's a new topic.
Yeah.
What happened?
I would just rub it on something and it felt really good, so I kept rubbing.
And then it happened?
And then, and I was like, oh, everything's warm.
When was this?
Goosh.
I was
Gooshy.
10 or 11.
10 or 11.
Wow. Early to the game.
Yeah.
Early to the game on that
I
one.
developed quickly.
Did you?
I did.
Okay, good to know.
Not really. No, I'm pretty-average. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It was
Pretty
10,
average.
11 when it's average. Huh? All right.
It was I think right around the time I was getting my period. So things,
Oh, sure.
things were
That's
starting
okay.
to feel
A lot
interesting.
of blood going on down there. It's all
Yeah.
moving around.
Blood
I didn't mean it in the
flow.
gross way.
An
I didn't mean it in the
awakening.
gross way.
There was an awakening.
Not that it's
I
gross.
meant in the throbbing way.
It was pulsating.
More or less gross.
I remember being alone as a kid a lot. You know what I mean? And I remember thinking, I feel like, and this is gonna sound shitty, Tim, don't laugh in my face. Oh no. I feel like I'm gonna be famous, but I didn't think famous in terms of. I didn't think famous. Well, I think it sounds conceited and shitty to say.
Yeah,
But I didn't mean famous as I'm gonna be in movies. But
Yeah.
at the time, I had no idea what that meant. But it was the thing of me and my friends putting on like, they like one of them had like a Fisher Price recorder, and we're doing like radio shows and shit, and like doing crank calls, and it's like, this is so much fun. But like I couldn't see how that would ever connect to whatever the fuck Z this is.
So you weren't consciously aware of like, I'm going to pursue fame as a child.
No.
It was a subconscious thing for you.
I'm gonna pursue fame.
Yeah,
Well, people are, man. There are people who are like,
Sure.
who will tell you like their goal. They saw someone on Saturday Night Live when they were 10, and they were like, I'm going to be on that show one day, and they achieved that goal.
No,
And
you
so,
figure.
like,
I mean, like when I was creating the comics, even, which got me into a lot of newspapers. And I don't mean like they ran the comic. I mean they wrote about, hey, there's this fucking kid who was selling comics at school. Of
course.
Like
Greg's Gazette, right? No, that was
the
else.
newspaper that almost got me expelled. But it was like, I remember being on the front page of the Daily Herald and being like, wow, like that's fucking awesome. But I wasn't making the comic to get on the newspaper.
you got
I wanted
notoriety
people to see
from
the
it,
comic
and it
more than
feels
they wanted
good.
to see me. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
No, I think that's interesting because I mean, I was certainly I was aware of fame. I just never thought it was something that I would fantasize of. Like that'd be so cool to be like a famous director or a famous actor,
Sure.
to be in that world. And you'd see, when I was a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, everything was so fucking heavily curated as far as like media that hit you. So it just looked like a perfect glamorous lifestyle. But I'd never had anyone in my life that could have told me that could be a reality for myself. So going into college, I had no idea of what I wanted to be. I thought I wanted to.
That's my thing, is dial it back. I no offense.
Yeah.
I know, and so a lot of people I think know that you go to college, you're not happy. Eventually you move over to film, right?
Sure.
And like
Yeah.
that's how it all starts.
Yeah.
So when you're growing up, what are you kicking around? Like what are you thinking of in grade school, junior high? Are you worried about that?
No, blank slate. I do.
Wow,
I had great.
wow.
I had great grades.
Yeah.
I had close to a 4.0 GPA leaving high school.
Nobody's bragging over here.
You're smart.
3.82. But it's not really close to a 4.0 actually. It's
pretty close.
It's at a point off.
I was 381, 382 as well. I like to me that
Say
was totally like,
4.0.
no, I'm close to. 4.
Well, I mean, I went to a school. Obviously, you and I went to a school that had honors programs, right? Like we had the AP program. We also had the International Baccalaureate program. So we had a ton of classes where your A counted as like a super A. So I got B's all the time. But I had friends that graduated like 4.2, 4.3 grade point average. Just ridiculous assholes.
Yeah, totally.
Just
What are you
shitheads.
trying to prove? Fuck off.
Yeah, fucking overachievers.
life.
Luckily, they all were in class with me, so I could copy off of them in math. 'cause
Perfect.
I fucking
Math, fuck
did not
math.
want to do math. But no, I mean, going through it, I just didn't have. I always tell Tim, I'm always so like amazed, and like it's so cool to see someone who had a sense of self back then, of like this, like the light bulb went off in his brain and he goes, I want to do this. Not necessarily, I don't know if you had it defined in your brain what it was going to be, but to you were like, there's an internet and there are people that make videos on the internet, and I want to be one of those people, and I want to be famous for that.
And that's
like I want to be known for that at least.
I know that as well, but for you, I don't even know when the internet enters the picture. Like I know your high school video is the breakout one and all that jazz.
Well, yeah, I mean, internet entered the picture for me. I mean, not that early because
Okay.
again, we didn't really have a computer that can handle all that shit and stuff until
Sure.
7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
So it was later than a lot of.
Was it
other
like
people did.
2012, 2013 for you?
2003, I would say, was my first real introduction around MySpace, and it's
MySpace,
like
yeah.
MySpace changed everything for me.
Wait,
And
Barb, were you
it's-
on MySpace back
Hell
then?
yeah, I was on MySpace.
Okay.
And it's like that.
was
That
on
was
everything.
when like that was my first. I mean, when you're in 8th grade, you're not really thinking about what am I going to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
Like
You're supposed to.
Yeah, you're supposed to. But
I would
That's
literally
what
do anything
society
but.
says.
Right? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know if you know
Sorry,
this grade, but
sorry.
girls were a thing. So it was distracting.
Sure, I understand that.
I was in a different place than some other people. I don't know. But
I was gonna say, as someone who is not at all on any girl's radar, they were not that much of a thing for me. I was more like, man, they're gonna make Superman into electricity. Crazy choice, but let's see how it plays out.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give him some leeway on this one. Proceed with caution, prosecutor.
yeah, I don't know. Being little, like younger than middle school, all of that, like thinking about what I wanted to be. I always knew I liked videos. My dad always had a video camera, so I kind of just grew up with that.
that's cool.
And so like I loved being in front of the camera. I loved being behind the camera. I loved trying to figure out editing things. I've told the story a million times. To condense it down, like one of the first coolest things I've ever done was take my Optimus Prime toy and have my dad film it, stop recording. I transform a little bit. He records
Nice.
more. So it was like stop motion.
Your own
And I
stop
just
motion, yeah.
created stop motion in my head where I was like, I want him to transform like the commercials, because the commercials were way cooler than having to fucking take 5 minutes to transform the damn thing.
Me and my brothers would do that, but instead of stop motion, we would do the thing where we would record, stop recording, and then one of us would leave frame and start recording again in the same frame. So it would be like a magic trick.
Yeah.
and
We were
like,
obsessed with it as
and
kids.
and then, you know, again, not to repeat stories so much, but Jackass was such a huge influence on 7th grade Tim and Cool Greg and Kevin, where we would do videos where we'd go on vacation and at the hotel we would fill Cool Greg's clothes up with pillows and stuff and throw it off of the roof of the hotel and film it. Like we'd film the beginning of my brother going to he's like, I'm gonna jump off the building, and he would jump, and then we threw the fucking thing and it would just hit the ground, and then we would go down and film my brother down there like all hurt. We'd show my mom, my poor mom. Oh my God. It would scare the fuck out of her. She was so mad at us. It was like, it's fake. And then we showed her. She's like, you guys are still fucked up. And we were still fucked up.
You were.
But I feel like
You
we
still are fucked up. Yeah, it's not over.
Sometimes, let me ask you a question, Tim. Does it occur to you how fucked up you guys are before you say these things and see our reactions on our faces? Like when you say them, because I feel like there's a moment every time you tell a story where you go, wait a minute.
Ain't playing the way I thought it was.
This is maybe this was a little fucked up.
No, I mean, like I said, I blame Jackass. Like it's just dumb kids and dumb eras.
It
Yeah,
influenced a
Jackass.
lot of people in that
Totally.
generation.
I feel like
100%.
Rooster Teeth, all of the people that work there at a certain level are totally influenced by
Me and
that
my
era.
friends made a video series called Jill Ass because we love
Nice.
Jackass so much. Where we would do things where we would just like run on the street and just fuck
We're
with
crazy.
people. Yeah. We thought it was so funny.
Jesus Christ.
And so yeah, this is the era where we're growing up, and then we when we had John Carl on the show a couple months ago, he was talking about how there's been studies shown that when you ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, and their answer is a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And like that's the most popular answer now. It's not astronaut, it's not doctor, it's YouTuber. And like for better or worse, I'm not trying to add commentary there, but I don't want to say I'm the first person to ever say that, but
I feel like you're the first generation
Definitely,
that saw
and, like,
that as a real angle.
to me it was that, and like I had to find a picture for Joey for some reason, like an old picture of me. Oh no, it was I was trying to find for my brother's birthday. I was trying to find an old picture of me and him, and the only place I know it exists online is on MySpace. And I had to go find my own MySpace and look at it, and like my headline was Tim Gettys is pretty much famous on the internet.
I remember that.
And I just remember thinking back then, I was like, if I just tell people I'm famous, they're gonna think I'm famous.
They're going to start believing it.
Tim Gettys 101, right? Like all the stories I've told about me and Alfredo in high school, like that's all that we did is build up this lore. And I mean, we Paris Hilton did, but without the money.
Sex tape.
Thankfully, you
And
guys
without
have
the
had
sex tape.
You guys have had more of an enduring career than Paris Hilton, which is good.
She's still around doing stuff.
Depending how
She's
you-
DJ.
She
depending
did
how you
invent
look
the
at it.
selfie, so
Well,
Barb, what did you want to be when you were in Canada? So
I was in
you wanted to
Canada.
be like a maple syrup tree tapper person.
I did.
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
female Mountie.
Exactly.
Female
there's been.
Mountie.
I think I'm in a similar boat where I didn't quite know what I wanted to be. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, even all throughout college. I had ideas.
What were you going to school for then?
I went to school for marketing.
Okay.
Because I was always interested in advertising to an extent. I always wanted to write slogans or jingles or commercials, anything that was a mix between creative and business. I was always interested in those two things colliding. So just when I got to college, I was like, fuck it. There's a lot of options in this career path. Let's go for it. But as a kid, I kind of flip-flopped between a bunch of different things I wanted to do. One of the things was I wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Because I was a class clown. I would always make people laugh. And so I thought, why don't I just try to do this as like a career, not realizing like making quick little jokes when you're a kid, definitely not the same as coming up with a full set and performing in front of a large group of people.
Oddly similar, though.
Yeah.
That's been
Maybe
the
a lot
fun
more
thing
similarities than you think.
of when knowing the inside journey of Nick doing his stand-up comedy and stuff. The people that to this day are, when it all casually come to me like, you should totally do that. You should do stand. I'm like,
It's
no, like what?
It's a different
I'm gonna get up
ballgame.
and tell Grandma Miller stories. Like, it
I mean,
doesn't
look,
work if you don't know
To be
me.
fair, everyone sitting at this table could absolutely do stand-up.
You are
absolutely.
a great storyteller. You guys all are great storytellers.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key component.
And let
to
me tell you
being a
about Thor: The Dark World.
Please do.
But I had two brothers growing up, and we'd always make stupid voices and do different impressions with each other. So I was like, voice acting would be cool. Lo and
Oh, look
behold,
at
I'm now technically considered a voice actress
are?
Yeah.
on some websites.
one of the other jump starters for me in
IMDb
this
being
topic,
one of those
right?
websites.
True.
Is that for us three, it's simple to look around today and see, holy shit, like Kind of Funny's. It's becoming what I think we always thought it might have the chance to be. For you, just this week, right? Like, it's only Tuesday. So yesterday, was it that they put out the trailer for your horror movie?
Yeah.
Right?
Yesterday.
What is it called?
Bloodfest.
When's it coming out?
So it's premiering at South by Southwest in Austin. March 9th is the world premiere. But further than that, TBD.
Did you ever fathom that you were going to be a movie star? You're going to be an actress?
The fact that you even say that now, I'm just like, I'm
Right.
not a movie star. I'm not an actress. That's bullshit. No, never in a million years. I am someone who never thought I would be in front of a camera at all.
Yeah.
there was a time period in my life where I wanted to be a model.
Yeah.
But that, again, very different than being an actress.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk when you're a model.
Yeah.
And I still get nervous on camera.
Sure.
All the time. And doing Bloodfest was definitely something that was out of my comfort zone. But it's one of those things where I've decided in my life that I'm just going to say yes to things that I might not be very comfortable doing. And it's gotten me so far and has gotten me so many opportunities.
Sure.
Like I didn't want to host my own show. I was like, that's scary. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, let's see what comes of this. And now it's like the most rewarding experience of my life.
That's such good advice. And I feel like for me and the growth we've had here and my growth next to you, under you, whatever way you want to put it.
On top of me,
like
behind
on
me.
top of you,
Yeah,
behind you, all that stuff. It's been crazy because the amount of times like I look up to Greg and the things that he's doing, you hosting Dice Awards recently, all that type of stuff. And when people ask me to do things similar, or you ask me to do the things with you or something, I'm like, I'm scared of that shit.
What, was it last PAX where I was like, hey, you want to host this panel? And you're like, no. I'm like, you need to host this
You want to
panel.
host this Ubisoft panel? I'm
Yeah,
like, please no. Like, that sounds very out of my comfort zone. I do not want to do it. And I felt like I did a good
did a
job.
great job,
And people
yeah.
really
Yeah.
liked it. Once I was doing it, I'm like, I can do this. Like,
And even if
why?
Don't tell
like
people how
you-
easy it is. Cut this out,
Yeah,
cool,
it's
right?
very
Don't
hard,
tell people how
very
easy
hard.
it is.
Don't
'Cause we
tell
can't have that much
Even if you
competition.
felt like you didn't do a good job, you still did it.
And that's the thing. I didn't do the best job, but,
but you still did
I
it.
did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I can do that. Like, that is now a thing that I'm comfortable
That's like
trying.
Dice Awards
You
year
know?
one, right? Where I finished,
Yeah.
I was like, oof. I did not get all of that. I did not knock that out of the park. I can do better. And I felt this year we did better.
Or me
Yeah.
hosting Games Daily, even.
Oh, yeah.
Being a contributor on the show, I can do that with my eyes closed. I'm very confident in that. Having to host that show and run that show with different people, especially when I'm thrown on with Gary Whitta or Jared Petty or Andrea Renee, and I'm just like, why am I here? This is really not cool. But yeah, no, now I feel more comfortable. I'm still working into that, but we're getting there. But no, that's awesome. And like you having to act, that's crazy.
Yeah, and in a horror movie where emotions are very high.
A lot of screaming.
A lot of screaming, a lot of very intense scenes. And
I can't
also
imagine.
being in a movie with real actors. Like, it's one thing
Also
doing
intimidating.
like funny little skits and like
Yeah.
doing 11 Little Roosters or 10 Little Roosters and Day 5 where it's like we're with people who are wonderful actors, very talented cast and crew. But doing
know
a
them.
real movie with Jacob Batalon, Robbie Kay, Seychelles Gabriel, who are like have been in this industry for years and are these famous actors who do this for a living. Being in that situation was just like, oh my God, they're going to realize I'm a fraud any second now.
Even my Laser Team 2 cameo thing
You
was
were
like,
great in that, by the
oh,
way.
fuck, you're the girl from Until Dawn. Shit. Fuck, I really like your game. You're a good actress. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, all right, hit that mark. And I'm like, yup. And I step way past that. I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Although something I noticed doing Bloodfest with real actors, who's to say what's a real actor or not? I feel like it really elevated my skill. Like,
sure.
I felt like, okay, I'm around people who do this professionally. I'm really going to try to up my game with this.
Yeah.
And I felt like it made me a better actress to do that with them.
I mean, it's all that's a big part of it in terms of being able to play off somebody. And then it's also when I do any acting, it is so like, ugh, I feel like imposter syndrome huge comes
Absolutely.
out. And then it's been the same with VO work where when I first did any VO work, right, especially like my first, I can't remember. Lego Marvel Avengers was before Kind of Funny animated series really got going, right?
Yeah.
Was that the one where you were?
I was Aldrich
Before that
Killian.
was the
I think so,
zombie
yeah.
podcast.
Oh, right. Yeah, the zombie podcast, we're alive, of course.
You're still playing a character, though.
100%. And Casey's script is amazing and all these different things. But that was very much like, I'm Greg Miller from Podcast Beyond. I helped make this show popular in a lot of ways and got a lot of viewers in. So like, it's more than I'm just here to be Pete, whatever. Like when I went to do Lego Marvel Avengers, this doesn't sound right, but yeah, Lego Marvel Avengers for the first time.
Yeah, that's what
and
it
I
was.
went down and was like on the WB lot with the water tower and like in these rooms with like where I know like amazing, like Troy Baker is all the time. And I was like, this is fucking weird. And I felt like I was shit at it. And Liam O'Brien was the nicest director who walked me through everything. And then to get to now, after animated series, after another couple video games, to get to going and doing Island Time VR, where
Yeah.
it was like, cool, I'm in a professional studio and I don't feel weird about it, and I know what's going on, and I know that it's going to be dead quiet in here, and I'm going to see you talk to each other out there, and it'll be dead
People
quiet.
are watching you.
But it's not
Yeah.
that nothing bad is happening. We're just talking. I was like, all right, cool, I can do this, and I feel like I nailed that more than.
And
I ever
again,
nailed
that's saying yes to an opportunity that comes up. And
Exactly.
eventually you'll get there. But
Yeah.
the first time is going to be fucking scary.
Yeah.
That's how it always is, though, and that's always a really good thing as a a tool for a lot of people out there who are trying to do things is that when you surround yourself with people who are better than you, they elevate you always.
Yeah.
Always. It's the same in, like, that's the one thing that, my instructor is trying to get me to do in jiu-jitsu is like, you got to go compete. And I'm like, I don't want to compete because it's hard. And he goes, yeah, that's the point. Like when you go and learn what you don't know. Well, and you get to be around, and you see people who have actually prepared for it properly, and you go, "Fuck, I need to elevate my game."
And you could be there at some point.
You could be there.
We started doing improv at Rooster Teeth recently, which is something that I never fucking wanted to touch. I had so much anxiety about it, thinking like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to put myself out there. You're vulnerable." And then we started doing it, and now I want to do it all the time. And we would go to improv shows, and we would see like we could be there at some point.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, life changing.
But you guys do like on the spot's pretty much improv, right?
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it is. It's you have to come up with something.
Yeah, and I used to hate doing that show, and now I do.
That's how they do it.
Now we do improv, and I actually look forward to.
How much improv are you doing?
That's true to me too, because when we go down to Rooster Teeth and we do all the podcasts, which is awesome, I'm so comfortable on all the shows. On the spot's the one that I'm like, oh man,
it's hard.
It's hard.
Like I don't have the skill set for this.
Take your shirt off.
And well, that's the thing. Is like, luckily, when I'm partnered with you guys, we can do whatever the fuck we want. We have such good chemistry with each
other. You feel comfortable.
Like we can make something happen. We can get there.
You got a dead fish like Michael Jones there. Oh, look at photos of my baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Cute kid.
It's cute.
He's got a cute kid.
I know.
Yeah, that's awesome that you guys are doing that though.
Yeah.
I've seen some really bad improv, and I've seen some really fucking great improv. And let me tell you, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, you do improv or something like that for the first time, and you think to yourself, oh man, I'm fucking lousy at this. I can't even imagine how you can be good at this. And then you see like a UCB show, or like a Groundling show, you're like, oh, okay, that's fucking intimidating.
It really is just a matter of committing and having each other's back when you're doing improv. And I think that's one thing that I wish more people at Rooster Teeth took improv so that everyone would have that same mentality. Because we did one episode where all four of us on the show were people who took improv together, and it was one of the best shows I've ever done at Rooster Teeth, where everyone was just passing the ball.
The joke people make about, improv writers, like, what is it?
Yes and.
Yes,
right?
And it's absolutely true.
And it sounds so goofy, but like when you started doing comedy, and I've told you before privately, like you got so much better at podcasting because it wasn't, not that you were ever negative energy, but it's your normal response of, that's not right, or da-da-da-da, or blah, blah, blah. And like you'd not you, the pejorative you, in a normal conversation, you'd shut somebody down, not to be an asshole, but it would then cap their creativity or crap. And like once you were like, you started harnessing creative energy in a different way, because obviously I had years of podcasting experience. Not that I'm great at it, but I mean like the fact that I could fucking talk to a rock for 2 hours. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
No,
what do you think?
It made all of us better performers.
You give the rock a voice.
Yeah, well, no, the rock just sit there. The rock's got to do something for the fucking show.
Well, that's the thing too. For me, I think hosting the morning show has taught me that as well, right? So being able to,
I love doing the morning show with you, and I am actively upset when I look at a calendar. I'm like, fuck, I'm not on the morning show.
Like this morning when I
well, it's because we have a million guests. So I don't want to get in the way. Like, yeah, tomorrow, or I guess I'm on tomorrow. But like, when I booked it as you and Xavier Woods, I'm not going to get in the way of that.
That's going to be a fun one. That's on Thursday, by the way. No, I mean, being able to do that really teaches you the value of needing that other person in the chair, right? Yeah. So when you're the person who is responsible for leading, like steering the ship, and occasionally, whenever that thing happens where you're like, I'm just like, I can see the end of the road, and I'm like, I'm going to get, and then you hit the end of the road and the other person goes, I'll start driving now. It's such a lovely give and take that you don't, I think you talk about like being kind of thrown into the deep end when it comes to acting. Like that's how I kind of felt when I started doing the morning show. I was like, I'm with these two guys that have collectively like tens of years of experience doing podcasts. I don't have this experience. And so I'm like, I better fucking figure it out and up my game. So we're still waiting on that. It'll happen though. But one of the things that's great about it is it gives you that appreciation for the person sitting in the chair next to you. And now once you start developing that flow, it's really fucking something fun. You just get we just talked for an hour and 57 minutes, right? And I think it's not easy to do. Actually, we make it look easy, but it's really fun to have people around you that can keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom and sorry, cool Greg.
As I finished, we're really great at not biting. Fuck you, Tim. You son of a bitch.
Cool Greg stopped me and he was just like, this is really good.
This show's awesome, right? And that was the thing is, again, this is what we're talking about where here comes Andy to fucking ruin it.
Fucking Andy.
Look at that.
Tight Pants Cortez.
That's
silhouetted
what they call him.
Man.
They call him.
Are we pushing?
No, this is still the show. No, but this show's been great, and it's again the benefit of what we talked about when we switched to one big episode again, where it is like, all right, whatever, we'll get to whatever.
Hanging out.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why if we want to derail and talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, real quick, because I am wrapping up. You've got to get to a shoot eventually here in a second.
Eventually, yeah.
What I want to tell you,
What I'm
though,
in town for.
is please do competitions. And please promote it like you do a comedy show, and then we all dress as Cobra Kai, and we all come and sit in the audience and just yell "sweep the leg" over and over again. And like, don't get me wrong, you probably get clowned out because the guy's super angry now that we're all.
First
behind.
of all, you can in fact sweep the leg in jiu-jitsu. That's very easy to do. Second of all, there is a gym out there called Cobra Kai, and they are fucking intense.
Yeah?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, if you are crazy enough to name your Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym after the bad guys in Karate Kid, don't
That's
fuck with those guys.
Pretty badass.
That's you going in like this. Is like when I looked for the place that I train right now, which is a very low key, like laid back place. There's a couple other places in the city that are like, because Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a very macho thing to do,
Yeah.
and people get caught up in that bravado very easily.
I bet.
Because it's a very competitive thing that you're doing, and so like it can be intense, but man, yeah, you see that you're like Cobra Kai, you're like. These guys are gonna fucking kill
How
someone.
in your class?
Yeah.
Do they know what a goon you are?
Yeah.
Like, do you ever do the Cobra snake thing?
No, I don't do that, but every once in a while, you know.
Have you seen this? You know what he's talking about?
No.
Python?
Show Barb
Show the python.
I haven't worked out in a while.
Oh, no,
I just don't know.
I've seen the python.
I don't know if he's
Yeah.
gonna be. But let me just see if he's. There he is. There he is. There it is.
I hate him. I
He's
hate
always
him.
sleeping.
Always down there.
Yeah, he's always sleeping.
Why do you
down
always
there.
hit him in the belly? I
I
hate
gotta
it.
wake him up his belly.
He's awake. You saw him move his head.
I'm gonna look at it in the monitor. Oh, look
By the way,
at
this
him
is
go.
also the python that sneaks in when my wife's taking a shower and just grabs one thing off the shelf and drops it. And then the next, she fucking hates it.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Can't
she
think
has
of one
no
reason
test.
why she would hate that.
No accounting for taste. What do you
Oh, if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bring a random topic discussion for your amusement. Don't drop my phone. I know there's nothing else I'll pick up. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode early. How early, Tim?
You could be watching live, or you can get it a week early every Friday at 9 a.m.
If you get the video version or you watch live, you also get the pre and post show, which we're about to roll into. Watch some classic Kind of Funny live videos and get a back massage from a Candy Andy. You can start right now if you want.
Candy
no, come
Andy.
rub
You
me,
can't-
my back.
You can't
Come rub
ask
my
him.
back.
You can't
yeah,
ask him to rub
exactly.
your back. He has to do that
Barb,
on his own volition.
Thank you so much. Oh, then it's on youtube.com/kindoffunny
Oh, yeah.
later. Barb, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me. It's been a dream to be on this show.
We love you so much. You know that. Oh.
I'm gonna come back again because I feel like we have so much to talk about.
We stole Andy
did.
from
This is a
Rooster
really good
Teeth. We
show.
would love. I'm just putting it on the radar. We'd love to steal you one day.
All right.
Just a heads up that is a possibility.
Off the record.
Off the record, of course.
Yeah.
Just
We're
trust
post
me.
show now. We're in the
Bernie's not
post show
watching
now,
now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Nobody's watching this time. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Thanks for watching the Game Over Greggy Show, everybody. Click here to subscribe. Click here for Patreon. Click here for the PlayStation VR show. And click here for whatever Nick wants to say.
It's gonna be a Donkey Kong
Why?
video.
This is you just stepped into the mic for.
Nice.
God damn it.
Nice.